Boulder, Colorado, the spot. Temperature 19 degrees. The forecast, more snow as the afternoon continues on. There was about 6 inches last night. The wind chill right now is 9 degrees. Colorado won the toss. They have deferred to the second half. Mark Mariscal will kick it deep. J.J. Moses and Jermaine Phillips back there, and it's going to go through the end zone. So the Cyclones will begin at their own 20-yard line as we take a look at the Southwestern Bell offensive starters for Iowa State. 6-3. They come in. Sage Rosenfels, the senior quarterback, very athletic, 6'4", 220-plus pounds. He's pretty good in the running game also. 7 touchdowns, 10 picks this year. Ben Bruns played very well last week in the bad loss to Kansas State. Ben Bodette is the best athlete of this group up front. They've stuck together from game 1 this year. Chris Anthony, the leading receiver. Moses, they want to have him catch the football a number of times today, and he'll even handle it some in the running game. Here's the option look. They run a reverse. Wow. Moses has all kinds of room. He breaks a tackle. He's still going to the 46-yard line. Flip side of the 50, a pickup of 34 yards.
Well, what they did is Iowa State comes out in a 2 tight end formation. That's to run the football. All the motion goes this way. Haven Moses comes back against the grain. Colorado over pursues. Nobody stays home for J.J. Moses, not Haven Moses. And Michael Lewis misses the tackle. There's a flag on the play, though. This is all coming back, all for naught. Illegal block on the play, it looks like.
And you know what? I did not see the flag at all. And it's hard to see maybe with the snowflakes, but this one's coming back.
On the offense, 15-yard penalty, spot of the foul, still first down.
You know, guys, that's a great call by Coach McCarney, because you're thinking about Colorado's defense. They're going to come out. They want to set the tempo. They're going to be aggressive. So what do? You run a play that counters their aggressiveness. That's a reverse. You see loss of contain on the backside. You give J.J. Moses the ball and let him do his work in the open field.
There's the clip.
Open field runner.
That was the clip right there. Right there at that point in the field. That's the clip. So that penalty, they get a 1-yard gain on the carry instead of like about a 40-yard change of field position. A huge penalty on that clip.
And you don't get many opportunities in a football game to make big plays, and that one comes back. So it'll be first at about 9.
Sad thing is, Drew, the clip was unnecessary. Not even a factor in the play.
Rosenfels, deep dig, and J.J. Moses could not hold the football, so it'll be 2nd and 9 as we take a look at the Southwestern Bell defensive starters for Colorado. Big week last week defensively. They had 14 sacks, believe it or not, against Missouri. Jarney playing his best football, the senior. Brady McDonald will move inside in dime situations, passing situations. Peake, Sykes, and Masoni, the linebackers. 2 very good safeties, and Robbie Robinson and Michael Lewis, who Chris Spielman told you about in the open. Here's a delay to Ennis Haywood, makes a man miss, and carries Jayshon Sykes for a couple of more. It'll be a manageable 3rd down, 3rd and 3. And Dave Lapham, Ennis Haywood's a physical runner.
Oh, he definitely is. He couldn't get untracked at all last week against Kansas State. They did a great job of controlling the line of scrimmage. If he makes his first cut in the secondary or at the linebacker level, you got to load. If they penetrate and make him make his first cut in the backfield, I don't care how good the back is, he's got trouble.
And Iowa State has been successful this year. They've been able to run Haywood. And they run a counter, and Haywood breaks a tackle and has the first down at the 32-yard line. Andy Peake brought him to the turf.
Chris, they had Michael Wagner and Haywood in the backfield at the same time. They're speed backs, and they ran a little crossbuck action. What does that do to linebackers?
Well, I tell you, the linebacker made a good read. Andy Peake made a good read. He's got to be a little more stout when he makes the hit, especially against a big back. He made the hit behind the first down marker, but Ennis was able to push forward and get the first down.
Rosenfels out of the gun. And he keeps the football. One-on-one with Phil Jackson. He has a blocker in front. And here goes Sage Rosenfels. Out of bounds at the 32-yard line of Colorado. Chris Anthony had the good downfield block. A pickup of 35 yards.
Well, he's keying Drew Walrus. Walrus, the outside linebacker. And watch him right here. And Sage Rosenfels is keying him. And when he takes it down to the inside, he bites on the fake. Actually, that wasn't Woolworth, that was Antoine Jones. When he bites on the play fake like that, Sage Rosenfels just keeps the ball and uses his aggressiveness against him.
Got to keep contained. That's playing defense, team defense. A little excited to make the tackle.
They run a counter, and this one's well defended. In the backfield is Antoine Jones, number 10. And the senior from Van Nuys, California, blows it up. Let's take a look at our Bushnell players to watch this day from Boulder. J.J. Moses, 45 catches coming in. He's a threat running the football, also in the return game. And Michael Lewis, 3 picks. He leads the team in tackles, better than 10 a game. And he also could be an academic All-American candidate. So what doesn't this guy do, guys?
I'm telling you, it's a true talent right there.
Loss of a couple of yards. Iowa State 2nd and 12. Wagner's in the backfield, and this pass is batted down, and it's Jones again.
Yep. I tell you, I think Antoine Jones feels a little bit guilty about losing contain on the run by Rosenfels. Now he's come back and made 2 great plays. And I'll tell you, a defensive end, what he has to do, and he understands this. You read 3-step drop, David. You get your hands in the air. You got a chance of knocking the ball. Excellent play and well coached, by the way, to understand that.
6'4", long arms. If you're not going to sack the quarterback, get your hands up in the passing lanes.
3rd and close to 12. Iowa State needs the 23. 2 receivers right. Wagner alone in the backfield. Rosenfels will be short. Brady McDonald chased him down, 82. Phil Jackson also there defensively for Colorado.
Decision time. Is Coach Mack going to kick the field goal? Looks like he's going to come in and kick this field goal now with the weather conditions like they are. You know, there's no guarantees about the good snap, good hold, the kicker being able to plant the plant foot and execute, but he feels confident this can happen.
And Chris Spielman, they've made a number of changes kind of back and forth with their place kickers, Mike McKnight, and their punter, Carl Gomez. Gomez is the guy right now. This will be a 43-yarder. Not much wind, but as Dave Lampham was talking about, the conditions not great.
Well, I think the biggest thing is his plant foot. Got a good plant foot, but he didn't get a lot of leg.
Got it.
He got it through there, and Gomez remains perfect. He is 4 of 4 since taking over as the place kicker as well as the punter. And Iowa State breaks on top in Boulder. 11:38 to go in the opening quarter. 3-zip Cyclones. Well, if you're a skier, this is good news. The snow is falling. If you're a polar bear, it's good news. I don't know if too many polar bears outside of the Denver Zoo, however. Iowa State leading 3-0. Drew Goodman, Chris Spielman, Dave Lampham, and Jim Knox, who looked like Sven running with the Buffalo. Roman Hollowell is going to gather this one in at the 2. He'll get it out to about the 29-yard line, and we check the offensive starters for Colorado today, brought to you by Southwestern Bell. The quarterback grew up in this town, Fairview High School. They went down in the state playoffs yesterday. Oaks, 1,217 yards, the true freshman. That is a school record. Good group up front, led by Gerard and Rogers. They're 2 very good football players, the tight guard and tight tackle. Cortland Johnson and Daniel Graham playing Gimpy. We'll see how long they can go today. Javon Green, the senior receiver, 5th all-time in receptions at Colorado, and they've had some great wideouts here. 2 tight ends, and Cortland Johnson will get a couple of yards. And we'll check the defenders for the Iowa State Cyclones. They'll line up in an even front. And of the defensive line, Reggie Hayward and James Reed. The leaders, Ryan Harklaw, really the heart and soul of the defense as well. Whitaker's a good young linebacker in the middle. Eilers has come on. In the secondary, the corners are small. Sloth and Powers, you'll see Ateef Austin as well. Mark Timmons weighs about 155 pounds, playing for Dustin Avey at free safety. They throw it to Hollowell, and he lost his footing. Might have been able to tightrope the sideline and get near the sticks. Instead, it'll be about 3 yards shy.
They went empty backfield, did the Buffaloes. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Empty backfield right away. And what they want to get done today is rush the football for over 100 yards. They haven't done that for the last 2 or 3 weeks. They want to hold Iowa State under 150 yards rushing, not let Hayward get established. They want to be very aggressive in the kicking game. Seems like they fake the punt at least every week. They want to keep that mentality going today. Be very, very aggressive in the special teams.
3rd down and 3. Oaks throws it in the flat. Johnson breaks a tackle, and he'll have a 1st down to the 48-yard line. Nice, safe throw, Chris Spielman.
It was a good throw, and it was a nice read by Oaks. They caught him in man-to-man coverage where Chris Whitaker has him man-to-man. Now, Chris Whitaker's been slowed a little bit by shin splints this year. He's running out there. He's avoiding the pick. He does a good job there. Now all he has to do is get his head across the bow to make the tackle. Drew, you never put your head in front of the bow. You close the gate in front of the ball to make the hit. He didn't get it done.
You've been telling me that for 2 weeks. Morning, noon, and night. I formation and a little ISO play. You don't see that much anymore, Dave Lampham. Just 3 or 4 yards straight ahead with Cortland Johnson. What does Iowa State have to do today?
Well, Iowa State wanted to get off to a fast start on the road, particularly after how horribly they played last week against Kansas State. Play a little bit looser. And also they want to gang tackle. Too many one-on-one situations against Kansas State last week. They're going to rally around the football with more than one person. And they want to balance their offense. They got to get Hayward established and be able to throw the football equally well. Almost a 50-50 play selection standpoint.
4 wides in the game. Hollowell in motion, gets the football with blockers in front, with the exception of 98, Nigel Tharp. Everyone was accounted for.
Well, that's the senior that got the start at defensive end. This is a senior day, basically, for Iowa State. They have 23 seniors that are leaders of this football team. He separates from the block of Victor Rogers. Watch over here. Victor Rogers is trying to get the outside position. Tharp just separates from him. You know, Rogers can't get the outside shoulder on Tharp, and Tharp does a good job of playing off the block and making the play, tackle for loss.
It was a great job, especially against a little scat back like Roman Hollowell, to be able to go ahead and corral him. That's what he did. He corralled him like a bull.
He bulldogged him.
That's a physical mismatch. Tharp's close to 300 pounds, and Hollowell's about 150. That pass is broken up. They're trying to get it to Daniel Graham. Breaking on the football, Doug Densmore. And Colorado will have to punt the football.
Hollowell limping off the football field, a little hitch in the get along there.
Well, that was a great play by Densmore. You see how he avoided the interference. He got his right arm across the bow, made himself long to be able to knock the football down. Excellent.
First time in 4 weeks that Colorado has not scored on their opening possession of the game. J.J. Moses will go back deep for Iowa State. Jeremy Flores will punt the football, averaging a little better than 38 yards a punt.
Ball security in the kicking game is going to be huge today. Can't turn it over in the kicking game in these conditions. Little movement up front early, it sounds like. Well, the clock expired. Didn't get the punt off before the play clock expired.
You know, take a look at Colorado's long snapper. It's probably the first time you'll see a guy one-hand long snap.
Delay of the game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Boy, particularly in this weather, Chris. You know, I mean, you got to think about. Obviously, it's better to have a couple of hands on the football. Hannafin snaps. He cocks that right hand. He must have a big mucker on him to be able to control the football with one hand in this cold weather like this.
He was a quarterback in a previous life.
Yes.
Whoa, almost a high snap. Flores did a pretty good job. Moses put a knee down, and in college football, you're done right there. He also took a pretty good lick. 3-0, Iowa State leads. 9:01 to go in the first quarter. Back in a moment. 3-0 our score in Boulder, Colorado. Let's flash back for a moment. 3 years ago, 1997, Darren Davis. And Iowa State led 35-17, but Davis would miss most of the second half with an injury, and the Buffaloes charge back. Down by 1, 4th and 10. Time running out. Hessler hits Chris Anderson for 16 yards, which set up a Dwayne Sherrington touchdown run, and the Buffs escape from Ames with a 43-38 win. They have now won 16 consecutive games against Iowa State. Last Iowa State win back in 1983 in Ames, Iowa.
Well, it was extremely important for Iowa State to come out, and we saw in Dave's game plans, to get off to a fast start. They couldn't have gotten off to a better start. An opening drive for a field goal.
Toss sweep, this is Wagner, and this thing goes nowhere. Talk about penetration and guys flying to the football. 5 black shirts in the backfield. It'll be a loss of 4 yards. And we go downstairs and check with the guy who ran with Rocky, Jim Knox. You got your breath back, Knox?
Yeah, barely. I just got out of the whirlpool, so I'm pretty good right now, Drew. Got to tell you about the field. Right now, a little slick out there. You already seen some of the players already slide, but right now it's not iced over. They're still sliding. They have the long, thick cleats on, but right now underneath the field, a nice hot water running through pipes. That's not the problem. The problem is the snow continues to accumulate on the field. We'll see what happens throughout the game.
Oh, what a catch at the 28-yard line by J.J. Moses. Good delivery from Sage Rosenfels. By the way, I apologize to Ralphie. I called him Rocky. That is the Denver Nuggets mascot.
Yes. And out of respect to Rocky Balboa, we'll have to, but I'll tell you what, Moses at 5'6" presents himself as a target for Rosenfels. He does a good job running the post, and right there, Robbie Robinson can't make the play until the ball is received by Moses, showing some good courage over the middle.
First completion for Rosenfels in the game. Oh, Jarney gobbles up Wagner. No gain, maybe a loss on the play. The opening 69-yard drive, Chris Spielman, all on the ground.
Well, that's it, and we talked to Coach McCarney yesterday, and the first thing I asked him, what do you have to do to win this football game? 3 words came out of his mouth: run, run, and run.
Right.
And you know they want to be balanced. They told us that, but I think they would like to lean more toward running the football and have more runs and passes. They're in control of the game when they do that.
They're an offense that their running game definitely sets up their pass, not the other way around.
Trips right for Rosenfels on 2nd and 11. And he's going to run with the football. He lost it. Ball's on the ground, and Colorado has it. Out of bounds at the +38. Phil Jackson gobbled it up.
Well, Michael Lewis made the hit. Michael Lewis made the hit on Sage Rosenfels that dislodged the football. And Jackson fielded it and took it back. A little counter action in the backfield again. Watch the counter. Rosenfels underneath handoff. No, he keeps the football. Up the football field he comes. Well, here comes Lewis. Boom. Ball's out of there. Michael Lewis strips it out of there. Ball security's key. That's only the 4th fumble of the season. Lost fumble of the season for Iowa State. And Jackson takes control of it. Rosenfels got to tuck it away, and he can't get it tucked away before Lewis rips it out of there, and before he's down.
A lot of times quarterback is not used to carrying the football downfield like that, and he doesn't know what it feels like to get hit like that as a running back.
Oaks on a boot, and that is complete. His tight end, Daniel Graham, playing almost one-legged.
Yeah, Daniel Graham's a big factor, and I know, talking to Coach Gladany, the Iowa State defensive coordinator, he was concerned about him. He is a tight end that can make a difference, help spread the defense out, and bootlegs is an excellent way to get Oaks out there throwing the ball, get him on the move, and get him a feel of the game of what's going on. And to get Graham involved is important for CU's offense.
And they've really missed his blocking as well. A great blocker at the tight end position, and hopefully he'll be able to give him some of that today.
6'3" and better than 240 pounds. He's what you want in the tight end. 2nd and 3. Johnson. And he'll be close to a first down.
Uh-oh, late hit. Flag coming. A late hit delivered by Reggie Hayward. Lost his composure a little bit. I don't know if he's the second guy. Always the second guy gets caught, but you got to hold your composure and wait till you line up the next time at the line of scrimmage to get revenge, not after the fact, because now he might have cost his team.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, he lost his composure, and you can't do that because Colorado's already operating with a short field after the takeaway. And now Reggie Hayward compounds the problem. Hayward gets involved. He's coming separating from the block here. A little bit, just staying after the block. And Hayward just says, hey, I don't like the extracurricular. I don't like what's going on. McCready's the best blocker at wide receiver. McCready's trying to block on the defensive end, Hayward, and he stayed after him like a little chihuahua at his ankles. Hayward didn't like it and hit him right in the smush.
And David, Chris, I don't think he likes a wide receiver blocking him, period.
No, absolutely.
He took that as an insult.
Yeah, so get away from me, but it cost his team dearly.
Colorado from the 15. Johnson gets a block from Nemeth. The fullback still going. Running through Densmore, the safety. They say the ball came out late, at least Iowa State does. And Iowa State, in fact, has the ball. Karstens comes up with it, but I think they're going to say that Cortland Johnson was down, and the ball will stay with the Buffaloes.
You know, Dave and I had a chance to talk with Cortland Johnson. He's wearing a special shoe with a steel implate in there to help relieve some of that pressure on a turf toe. He felt really good about playing it out, and he said he felt really healthy.
Yeah, he's got a steel plate in the sole that stabilizes that toe.
Kind of looks like a hockey skate.
Right.
Johnson again toward the goal line. Touchdown. What an effort by Cortland Johnson, the junior from St. Louis.
One of the guys he was running through down the football field was James Reed. It's a big defensive lineman. I mean, that was second and third effort. Don't want to minimize the turf toe deal either. Jack Lambert, a very tough guy, a very physical linebacker. The thing that ended his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers was severe turf toe. So, I mean, that's an injury that you really struggle to overcome.
Especially as a running back.
Yep.
Mark Mariscal will come in and attempt the extra point. John Minardi's the holder. Colorado has only 10 guys on the field. 11 helps.
Yeah.
High snap. Minardi's got to find somebody, and he won't. And Colorado botches the extra point. It'll be 6-3.
Ab Turner finished it. Ab Turner made the tackle that ended the play.
5:22 left in the opening quarter. Colorado 6, Iowa State 3.
Hurry into Sonic for a one-of-a-kind special you just can't get anywhere else. Try an extra long coney covered with thick, meaty chili and lots of cheddar cheese, together with a large order of our famous hot and crispy tater tots. You know how much you love them, and you're gonna love them even more now, because our Coney and Todd special is at a special low price.
Sonic America's driving.
Look what's back. Apple pie filling and real bits of crust blended into our delicious apple pie shake. Try one before they're gone.
Want to start a family?
Right now?
I just got supplemental insurance.
What's that?
Aflac.
Well, if we get sick, our health insurance won't cover things like lost pay or other expenses. This does.
What's it called?
Aflac.
I don't know.
Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
What will I be like a year from now? How much will I grow? How strong will I be in 5 years? In 10 years? Where does my future start? You'd be surprised.
.5:22 to go in the first quarter. 6-3 is our score. Colorado with a touchdown run from Cortland Johnson. Big 12 fans, Bank of America can assist you with your financial investments through its brokerage affiliate, Bank of America Investment Services, Inc. Stop by your local Bank of America to see how we can help you with your financial goals.
Drew, we talked about it on the field goal that Iowa State executed. Don't assume the snap, the hold, the kick are all going to be good in these inclement weather conditions here, and the hold couldn't be executed because the snap was high and inside, and that missed extra point may come back to hurt Colorado. They usually do.
And this one will go through the snowflakes and the end zone, and Iowa State will get it at the 20-yard line. Let's look at that touchdown run again by Cortland Johnson.
Well, the second and third effort is phenomenal. It's nothing fancy, just a little counterplay. Runs through the secondary, and then James Reed's trying to hustle down the football field and get involved, and he runs through that tackle as well. So, I mean, the guy that he ran through initially, though, is Timmons, who doesn't even pack 160 pounds on his frame, and Cortland Johnson ran right over him.
Chris, as a defensive player, it's tough to stay anchored in a slippery field.
It is. Gang tackling is part of Iowa State's plan. They didn't execute their plan.
Rosenfels dumps it to Haywood, and he makes a man miss, and he'll get a first down. And a flag comes in out of bounds. Maybe a hit too far out of bounds.
Well, you got to maintain your composure.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Well, you got to know where the sideline is, and Robbie Robinson Trying to get a little extra hit in, cost his football team 15 yards. As you see, Hayward's taken to the boundary, out of bounds, well out of bounds, 5 yards out of bounds. Robbie Robinson gets the extra lick in there.
Now, Rosenfels showed good patience on that play. His first and second option one there. He goes to his check down. You get it to a guy like Ennis Haywood who can make something happen with the ball when he catches it.
Like a long lateral in the running game.
Moses and Campbell to the near side. Here's Haywood. And a flag comes in as he's dumped by Phil Jackson after about a yard gain.
Got a hold.
Yeah, they're going to
75.
Yeah, Tyler Brayton was being held. The defensive end was being held, and yeah, the big left tackle got his hands out there. The real physical guy, Marcel Howard. Marcel Howard locked up in there, and he got the hands inside, but he grabbed Jersey.
Marcel 6'6", 315 pounds.
Watch him working right here. Comes off, he gets it, you see the hands out, now he grabs. He's grabbing the shoulder pads, and then he's got a bear hug going there. I mean, you know, you can't separate when the guy's got a clamp. He's got the big crab going on both of your shoulder pads.
Looks like you had a little coaching session with him, Dave, before the game.
You got to get him inside, Big Marcel. Just get him inside. Don't get him outside the framework. He'll be all right.
Stay tuned to halftime, folks. We have Chris Spielman working on Dave Lampham, a little pass rush drill you don't want to miss.
Marcel moved now. He rocked back in his two-point stance, so he's got back-to-back penalties against him. Can't happen, big fella. Stay composed.
You know, that's when I think his buddies on the offensive line got to come up and talk to him and come to him in a tactful manner.
Right.
Don't go, hey, Marcel, he knows.
Ball start on the offense. Remains first down.
Marcel's off the field. Dan McCarney saying, chill out, take a break, big man.
Marcel knows he made a mistake. He's just going to come out, let him get his mind back, relax a little bit. He'll be back in there.
Yep. He's the most physical guy in their O-line.
Corey Hannon has come in to replace him. 6'5" and 300-pounder from Hiawatha, Iowa. First down and 25. Incomplete at the 48-yard line. Craig Campbell, the intended target. And let's go downstairs. Roman Hollowell limped off the field a little bit earlier in the football game. Let's get an update from Jim Knox.
Okay, Drew, standing by Roman right now. What he's doing is hopping up and down, trying to test out that ankle. Sprained left ankle. They taped it up. They say he will be back in the next series.
Well, that's good news, because Colorado doesn't want to lose a weapon like him. He's a producer for their offense, but boy, Iowa State doesn't want to be off schedule like this. Called timeout now by Sage Rosenfels due to Marcel Howard's back-to-back penalties. 2nd and 25 is ugly. You don't want to be there.
Yeah, the playbook gets real thin on 2nd and 25.
Yeah, the quarterback looks to the sideline, and the coaches look at the quarterback. They shrug their shoulders. You make the call. Your guess is as good as mine. It's a tough deal. You got to take it in chunks, though. Don't try to pick it all up on 2nd down. Make it 3rd and makeable situation.
You know, also 2nd and 25, just to be aware that that is a huge screen or draw down.
Sure, sure.
I'm going to anticipate it. I'm going to try to play a little bit of a defensive coordinator here. If I'm Coach Oker, I'm going to tell my guys over there, right there, they're huddled up over there, troops, watch for the screen. Defensive linemen, turn and chase the ball if they do throw the screen. Yeah. Oftentimes you can create a turnover like that.
And J.J. Moses may be the guy. You know, they may run the alley screen with him as a receiver, or they may run the draw to Haywood. Just be alert for all of that.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the final home football game for 6 seniors. And that might sound strange, guys. You played college football.
It's a small class.
It's a very small class. 23 seniors for Iowa State, 6 for Colorado. And it was originally a class of around 20, but Ben Kelly leaves early for the NFL draft. A couple of guys end up retiring because of injury, including yesterday Ty Gregorak, who was one of the top linebackers coming out of high school football out of the Seattle, Washington area 4 years ago, and he just had too many injuries and had to give up the game. So just a very small class here at Colorado, and Gary Barnett has said that's one of the reasons that we're struggling this year. 2nd and 25, Wagner on the delay, and he'll get a bunch back. He'll get to the 46-yard line, so he got about 12 or 13.
Well, this is a protection that Iowa State runs. Watch, all the linemen turn back. Haywood has the key block. And watch Haywood make the block for his compatriot, Wagner, the running back. And that's a turn back run, down, and the back's got the defensive end, the end lineman, and they run a pass protection with the same look. So that's the deal, Chris. They get the linebackers, give them the exact same look as the runners of the pass, try to freeze them for a step.
Like we said, 2nd and 25, big screen and draw down.
They need the Colorado 41 on 3rd down. They dump it underneath, and Haywood forgot something.
He's got one hand on it, I think, trying to think about the first move before he secured the pig. But when you go 2nd and 25, that's a tough thing to overcome. I mean, you knock yourself off schedule to that extent with back-to-back penalties. That's a tough series. Hollowell's back, so he's that sprained ankle. The adrenaline's rushing for him right now, Drew.
Yeah, it might blow up tomorrow morning, but right now he's playing. And you don't have to ice it on a day like today, do you?
It's true.
Flag comes down. It's a short punt by Gomez. It is taken by Minardi.
McCoy was in the neutral zone. The wide receiver on the punt return team. McCoy jumped in the neutral zone. That's what the flag is. Colorado's going to be called for offsides.
And you know what? They'll accept the penalty. They won't get a first down, but it was not a good effort by Gomez. Right now, Colorado has it at 24. You're going to punt this thing again if you're Iowa State, I would think.
Oh, absolutely, you're going to punt it again. You got to win when the weather conditions get tough like this, you have to win the field position in battle. And Iowa State didn't execute the pooch punt very well.
And McCoy.
On the defense, 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
And here, watch McCoy right here. Or he comes walking up, and then he jumps in the. See, he jumps in the neutral zone, and that's a no-go. Can't be in the neutral zone when the ball's being snapped.
That's not a very smart play by Mr. McCoy because of the fact the block wasn't even on. He had to return on.
Right.
It was unnecessary. Be a big swing in field position right here.
Here he is right now. Now he walks away. He's going to be involved as a kill. But now he comes back. He's playing mind games. Here he comes again.
Colorado sets up a return. Better effort by Gomez. And Hollowell lets it go over his head, and it gets into the end zone. So Colorado will get it at the 20-yard line, and we take a look at the Dr. Pepper North Division standings. Nebraska and Kansas State really for the North Division title. Later on this afternoon, Nebraska 5-1, K-State 4-2. Iowa State and Colorado battling for 3rd place in the North Division.
The winner today is guaranteed a 3rd place finish in the North. So there's something to play for here for both of these football teams, obviously.
And in the South, Oklahoma, last score we saw, they were down 24-10 to Texas A&M. And now it's 31-28, we've been told, a 3-point lead for the Aggies. This is Bobby Purify, a true freshman, picking up about 5 yards. You know, Dave, this is like a balmy Sunday afternoon for you because you played in the Ice Bowl, the AFC Championship game, and you were sleeveless that day, and it was about 50 below.
Yeah, it was 59 below wind chill. It was an ugly day. Never broke a sweat. I mean, played in a football game, run around, couldn't break a sweat. That was a weird day, I'll tell you.
There's some tough guys out there because there's a lot of guys who are sleeveless today.
Got him.
Field. Javon Green, it's a foot race. Down at the 7-yard line, Ryan Sloth finally drags him to the ground. The senior Javon Green.
You know, one of the things Coach Barnett said about Oaks was that he had trouble throwing the post pattern. Yeah. Well, here he throws a great post pattern off boot action. Yeah. One of Chad's great strengths is his ability to throw on the run. Here you go.
Naked bootleg. And look, look at the arm strength. He jumps, he's getting hit. He can't even transfer his weight. Total arm strength to get the ball down the football field to Green. It's lost in man coverage and just trying to drag the big fella down. You see the size mismatch there. But what arm strength exhibited there by Craig Oaks as he's falling backwards and throws the ball.
70 or 68 yards on the pickup. Johnson, can he stay in? Yes, he will. Touchdown, Colorado.
And that's why the upperclassmen respect Craig Oaks. He's the guy that's the playmaker. And they totally have bought into the fact that Craig Oaks is a leader, and he's going to make plays for him.
They were a different football team. Last week, they led 28-6 at halftime in Columbia, Missouri. He went down with a minor foot injury, didn't play in the second half. 23 snaps in the second half, 24 yards.
Well, Cortland Johnson makes a difference in our offense, and Coach Barnett was hoping that he would be healthy. So far, he has been.
Mariscal able to attempt this extra point, and Colorado has a 10-point lead at home, 13-3.
Dr. Pepper, you make the world taste better, yeah. You make the world go around and around. You pick it up, can't put it down. Dr. Pepper, you make the world taste better. You make the world taste better. You make the world taste better.
Hurry into Sonic for a one-of-a-kind special you just can't get anywhere else. Try an extra long coney covered with thick, meaty chili and lots of cheddar cheese, together with a large order of our famous hot and crispy tater tots. You know how much you love them, and you're gonna love them even more now, because our Coney and Tots special is at a special low price.
Sonic America's driving.
Look what's back. Apple pie filling and real bits of crust blended into our delicious apple pie shake. Try one before they're gone.
13-3 Colorado. Hey, Mom, look what I learned in meteorology class. 13-3 Colorado. And this young man spending his parents' money wisely because he's saving on clothing.
Antifreeze. A lot of antifreeze in that system.
He's going to have some medical bills out back here.
Jermaine Billups. Knocked down shy of the 20-yard line. Down on special teams, Joey Johnson, who blocked a punt last week against Missouri.
Take a look at Oaks once again. I mean, that's as he gets lit up. I mean, he gets jackknifed backwards. Reggie Hayward hits him right in the middle and jackknifes him. And the arm strength he shows to get the ball out to Green is incredible. And then with this block right here.
Watch Danny Graham right here. He gets the shoulders turned, and he finishes his block. He allows Johnson to get the corner. It's a touchdown. Great execution. Danny Graham's a big part of their offense.
Former quarterback Derek Walker couldn't hold up at that outside linebacker spot.
They'll give the football to Haywood. And he lowers his pads and runs through Sean Jarney for about 5 yards. Good solid pickup on first down for Iowa State. Both teams need to run the football.
Well, I was just going to say it's important for Iowa State to stay with their game plan. Don't panic, even though they're behind. Stay with running the football, because they did in their first opening scoring drive. They moved the football down the field methodically by running the football. You have to stay with it. That's who you are.
And they have to answer with some sort of a score here. They're 2 scores down now. Got to answer.
Hiawatha Rutland is checked in along with Wagner. So it's 2 speed backs. They go to Rutland. And he'll have the first down. Little crossbuck.
Yeah, let me ask you, Chris, what does that do to a linebacker? That little crossbuck action, a little misdirection, they just trying to get you to freeze 1/2 a step so you come up a 1/2 a gap short?
Well, that's what you try to do. Now, if a good linebacker is going to see through the guard to the running back, so the guard on your side will usually take you to the play.
Right.
If you stay with your keys and focus and see both the guard and a running back, you should be able to read that play. It has a middle linebacker.
Don't get greedy and look in the backfield too soon.
Only when you have man-to-man coverage. So you better be looking in the backfield.
Right.
On first down, same play, and Rutland again into the secondary. And he's going to have 12 yards.
He's saying he got pulled down by the face mask, but there's no flag. Rutland's saying they grabbed me up in the headgear.
Bill Jackson finally brought him to the turf. Rutland, the number 3 running back. He's a redshirt freshman from Bradenton, Florida.
Well, let's watch a good player here, Jason Sykes, and see how he plays the crossbuck. Again, he comes in. Now, he takes that on with the wrong shoulder. He does a good job of isolating, but he's got to be able to defeat the blocker. You cannot give up 1 for 1. It was a good fill, but can't give up 1 for 1. Defeat the block, make the tackle. He has the ability to do that.
Separate.
Moses in motion. They give it to Wagner, and this play goes backwards. Tyler Brayton, a guy who's starting to break out for Colorado, makes the plays. A 6'6" sophomore. We were walking on the field a few weeks back when we saw Colorado against Kansas, Dave. This guy's a specimen.
He is. He's 6'6" and he's 260. And look at him, he looks skinny. I mean, he almost looks like a power forward. This kid can get up to 285, 290, you know, good training table and hitting the weight room right. He's got a huge frame, so, you know, he's out there with those long arms. He looks like a condor. They got, this roster has got 10 players of 6'6" height or bigger. I mean, they are just very, very tall as this Colorado football team.
That'll be that for the first quarter in Boulder. Gary Barnett's team leading 13-3 over the 6-3 Iowa State Cyclones. Cortland Johnson has been in the end zone twice.
Dr. Pepper, you make the world taste better, yeah. You make the world go around and around. You pick it up, you can't put it down. Dr. Pepper, you make the world taste better. You make the world taste better. You make the world taste better.
Listen, I've traveled every road in this here land.
Folsom Field, along with Dave Lampham, Chris Spielman, and Jim Knox. I'm Drew Goodman. The Buffs leading the Cyclones 13-3 as we begin the second quarter. 2nd and 12 for Iowa State at their own 44-yard line. Iowa State has not lost back-to-back football games this year. They lost to Manhattan last weekend, 56-10. Rosenfels wants a screen on the backside. Haywood chased down by Sykes. He's going to lose about 7 yards. As we take a look at our sleep-in first quarter numbers.
Pretty even Steven football game. One's running the ball well. The other one's throwing it a little bit better. Turnover was a factor in the points because you get the 6 points off of that turnover, but Iowa State, they run the ball effectively. That's what they wanted to get done. Colorado hasn't got on track running the football like they've wanted to yet.
That's amazing. Colorado's 3-6, yet they're +7 in turnover ratio this year. 3rd and 20. Rosenfels has a huge gap. He's got a first down to the 42 of Colorado.
Man, he saw the Red Sea part in the rush lane, and he got a second gear at about midfield because he knew he was close to the chains, and he just dove for that necessary yardage. That's a quick decision by a senior quarterback. He's taking a look. He's got his eyes down the football field, but then he sees the rush lanes. My goodness, I got a 7-yard opening here. Now he's playing running back, and he gets in that next gear and dives for the first down. Nice effort.
Yeah, Colorado's secondary has to adjust a little bit better to see that he crossed the line of scrimmage and come up and make a play.
Rally to the ball, right on.
2 tight ends, play action. Flag comes in, deep ball, and a flag downfield. Moses got knocked to the turf by Roderick Sneed, and we're going to have a long conference.
I think Iowa State's been called for holding. Knox, the big tight end, on the backside in slow protection, was holding and took the rush man down to the turf. That's one flag. Holding on Iowa State, and then the one down the field is holding the other way, so it's a do-over. It's offsetting penalties.
So that didn't happen, did it?
Holding on the offense, pass interference on the defense, offsetting penalties.
Only two receivers out. It was a max protect situation.
Kept the tight end in, the backside tight end, Knox just grabbed in his pass protection, and big tight end, and he's good size. Here's it going on right there. Knox takes the rush man down to the turf. He's called for holding. Then down the football field, there you have the penalty going on.
You know, I didn't see the interference there. I did not see it. I thought that was good coverage.
Haywood takes the football, and he explodes through an opening. Jay-Sean Sykes will get him 8 yards down the field. Ennis Haywood, a couple of 200-plus yard rushing days this year. Junior from Carter High School in Dallas. Remember a couple of years ago, guys, Carter High School had about 20 kids sign Division I-A scholarships.
It's amazing. This kid's a workhorse. He's one of those backs that gets stronger as the game goes on. And this is the kind of weather, Chris, that you don't get tired. You can run around all day when you're this age.
We were talking about walking over the stadium. Dave, I used to love to play in this because I never got tired.
Absolutely.
Rosenfels will keep, gets a block on the corner, and he'll get to the 20-yard line.
Once again, the defensive end can't get sucked in to make a play in the running game. As soon as Rosenfels sees that defensive end closing too fast, he pulls the ball out of there and makes him pay.
You know, this is a big part of college football today. This is an option, a new type of option that teams are running. The quarterback has the option to give the ball to the running back. He has the option to keep it and run. And he also has a receiver downfield. And what it does is slows down a pass rush, and he creates a misdirection play.
He's already got 100 yards, averaging 20 yards a carry. 100 yards on 5 rushes.
That's a good average.
Yeah.
He had 195 yards rushing coming in. Of course, they take sacks off rushing yardage in college football. Haywood at the 10. And he'll get it to the 4. First and goal, Iowa State.
The guy who made the play on this is Wagner. They got that jet rocket formation, the speed formation, whatever you want to call it. But when the ball is faked to Wagner, he makes a heck of a block. Watch the block that he makes. Boom! That's a great block. And now Haywood's off to the races. Now you got Wagner matched up with a big defensive end, and Braden then takes him out.
You know, I like the fact that Coach Looney is repeating plays, Dave. We talked about that last week. You keep running it until the defense can stop it. They haven't been able to stop it yet. The old crossbuck, as Dave referred to.
Yes.
Here's an option, Rosenfels. Oh. He gets to about the 2.
I'll tell you, that's a great play by Andy Peak right there. Excellent. He defeated the blocker, didn't give up 1 for 1, closed the gate in front of the ball, and made a nice tackle. Very nice.
You know, we saw Andy Peak in the cafeteria the other day as we were eating lunch.
Yeah, he was mad somebody called him a kicker.
Yeah. 6 feet, a couple 100 pounds. Our producer says, oh, you're the kicker on this football team. And this is a linebacker. But look at him, 6 feet, a couple 100 pounds. He's not the biggest animal in the world, that's for sure, but he's a player.
Neither's our producer.
No, that's right. It'd be a tough match. Bob Steinfeld, though, he's tough now.
Haywood tries to go airborne. And he stopped about the half-yard line. Chris, this is where it's fun, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, awesome. A great goal line save.
You know, air traffic control, Jay-Sean Sykes.
Yeah, watch
air traffic control on this, Chris.
Watch Jay-Sean right here. Now, he's had a good series so far. He reads the ISO, does a great job of filling the hole with the fullback. He puts the fullback's body in the hole, makes the hole smaller, and has his team come in and gang tackle. Great goal line defense. Nice fill by Robinson, too, over the top. You got an underneath player and an over-top player. Well executed.
3rd and goal. Option. Haywood. Touchdown, Iowa State. Good effort by Ennis Haywood.
And Colorado did not execute what they wanted to do. They wanted the quarterback to keep the ball in the option. They did not want the ball to be pitched to the running back Haywood. You got to eliminate Haywood and make Rosenfels beat you in the option. And that time, Rosenfels got rid of the football to the running back, Haywood, and Haywood made Colorado pay.
You know, that's a nice sign. You know, a guy that is a good running back when he has a nose for the end zone and he refuses to be brought down. Now, Jay-Sean Sykes had a chance to get him right there. Ennis made a nice move on him. Smelled the end zone, David. Got in the end zone. Great individual effort.
Carl Gomez will try to make it 13-10.
Oh. High snap.
And this one's broken up. So it'll remain 13-9. Iowa State joins Colorado in the botched point after touchdown department. Colorado missed one earlier on a high snap, and Iowa State cannot add the 7th point after the Ennis Haywood touchdown.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Pioneer, the company that brings you technology that yields. By Menards, save big money at Menards. And by Dodge, see the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
Turn an ordinary 5-gallon pail into a tool carrier with the Bucket Boss from Menards. On sale, just $7.88. This tool bag combo pack is only $19.99. The Skill 14.4-volt dual-source drill keeps going even after the battery runs down. On sale, $67.99 after $10 rebate. This 10-inch table saw includes a stand and dust collection system. Only $177. Menards cuts high prices.
Save big money at Menards.
When you're buying a diamond from Anglo International, there's no need for compromise. As jewelry manufacturers, Anglo guarantees the finest quality product available. From initial design through final fabrication, every step is carefully controlled by our experts to ensure the highest of standards and attention to detail. And because Anglo is a direct manufacturer, you'll always receive the lowest price available, guaranteed. Anglo International, 4045 Merle Hay Road on the second floor of the Mercantile Bank Building next to Baker Square.
First Alert Futurecast, showing you tomorrow's weather today. How? With a super powerful computer able to anticipate weather changes. So accurate you see tomorrow's weather down to the exact minute and location. First Alert Futurecast, only on WHO TV 13. Weather coverage you can count on.
Ennis Haywood gets in the end zone for Iowa State to make it 13-9. His 7th touchdown rushing of the year. But look at this. Casey Baldwin puts it down and takes it away.
Jeez. It's like a bad joke.
The old Charlie Brown routine right there.
I guess he felt like the timing was messed up.
I thought it would either get blocked or his kicker, would not have an opportunity to get it through the uprights.
Guys, out of 3 parts of football, offense, defense, and special teams, the one that the weather affects the most is special teams, and that's been proven today.
Here's Matt Brunson, a former baseball star, and he runs it out to the 26-yard line, and we pay a visit again to Jim Knox.
All right, thank you, Drew. Thank you very much. I tell you what, the Iowa State sidelines, the momentum now has switched to their side. Key reason why, Sage Rosenfels. Key drive right here, 3rd and 20. Sage Rosenfels scrambles for 21 yards, and then Ennis Haywood took it the rest of the way. He gets into that end zone, and Iowa State is right back into this game. Drew.
All right, Jim Haywood, who is bundled up.
Yes.
8 rushes, 38 yards.
He had a flag on the play. There's a flag that's being talked about on the Colorado sideline. I guess they decided to pick it up.
He was frozen there. It was thrown earlier, Dave.
Yeah, really. I mean, and Coach Barnett talking about it over there on that sideline. I guess no harm, no foul. Tee it up and go. Play some football.
Brandon Drum is in at fullback. Bobby Purify is the tailback. Javon Green in motion.
Ball starts.
Now we have flags that were not frozen.
Yeah, a little bit too early in the offensive line. Early movement.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Too much of that going on, quite honestly, at this stage of the football. See, it's a big game, but you got to hold your water. Just because the weather's a factor, you can't lose your composure.
Well, you probably don't want to go on a long snap count, Dave, because then you're not moving and not staying warm, right?
Yeah, and Oaks has got to change that snap count up a little bit.
Here's Purify with the long strides, and he's across the 30 to the 32. We mentioned it earlier that Craig Oaks grew up in the Boulder area. His whole life, he wanted to play for the Buffaloes. He went to Fairview High School. He was so good after his sophomore year, then Coach Rick Neuheisel offered him a full scholarship when he still had 2 years left to play high school football. But he was a man amongst boys, guys.
It looks like he has pretty good receivers here.
Yeah.
What a catch.
And you saw the 2 things that he can do, the quick feet and the quick release, virtually with his legs and his arm.
And he's got his arm going here to Javon Green. And Javon Green gets a couple of blocks. He'll have a first down to the 44-yard line.
And once again, Oaks gets rid of the football as he's getting kissed by Hayward. I mean, Reggie Hayward makes a play on Oaks in the naked bootleg, and just as he's releasing the football, I mean, Reggie Hayward's probably thinking, what is this kid, man? How does he get rid of the ball so quickly? Watch Oaks. Everything goes this way. Oaks comes out against the grain on the naked bootleg. Reggie Hayward right there, but the ball's gone.
When we talk about blocking downfield by receivers, John Minardi laid a heck of a block. Right.
Ooh,
wow. Wake up.
That's a shoulder separation.
Nice play.
He blew up Timmons. And about 5 or 6 in the running game. Bobby Purify again. We asked Craig Oaks if it was a foregone conclusion he was going to Colorado.
And all of a sudden, it just, like you said, reality kind of set in. It's like, wow, I actually have a chance to play here and fulfill my dreams. And so, and then when Coach Barnett came and offered, he himself offered, it was just, it was a dream come true for sure.
He's a terrific kid with unbelievable leadership qualities for a guy who's 19. Purify again straight ahead for about 7 yards to the 42-yard line. Just to cap that off, Craig Oaks is a terrific athlete, obviously, but he might not be the best athlete in his family. His sister Jessica was an all-American skier here, and we asked him yesterday who's the best athlete. He didn't miss a beat. He said, oh, my sister, she's tremendous.
Look at the efficiency today. 5 out of 6 for 102 yards on that particular rush. Drum, the fullback, little ISO play, nice lead block on the inside backer.
Well, the offensive line for Colorado is kind of taking over the football game. They are establishing a running game like they needed to do.
And then you can play action. Deep comeback, Minardi hauls it in. And you see the arm strength of Oaks. Out of bounds at the 28 in front of Breon Ansley.
Talking about repeating plays and good coordinators repeat plays. Sean Watson goes to the naked bootleg 2 times in a 3-play sequence. And he's got Oaks with the jackhammer feet to get himself out of trouble. There's Oaks with the naked bootleg, and then he shows the cannon. I mean, he puts that ball right on the money. That sucker doesn't get wet going through a car wash now.
You gotta have real arm strength.
Yeah, that's real.
Achieve that. Here's Johnson back in there. Runs through Timmons to the 20-yard line. And Colorado under 100 yards rushing 3 of their last 4 games, getting it done up front.
Oh, they are. And I'll tell you, they're getting movement on the defensive line. There's no penetration up front. The linebackers, I'd like to see step up and kind of meet that isolation block, maybe a yard behind the line of scrimmage. What's happening, they're creating vertical space. Right. The fullback's getting on the linebackers 2 yards on Iowa State's line of the scrimmage, which is creating vertical holes, and Johnson's finding the hole.
See, I thought a field condition like this favored the offensive line. They have the snap count advantage in the slippery field.
Here's Johnson again, and the white shirts are going backwards. Chris, I know you wince when you see that as a linebacker. You want to drive in the other direction.
Well, yeah, and especially if you're a linebacker in a tailback and you get driven backward. And again, you know, that's when you talk about as far as tackling. The one rule about tackling, the thing I don't see in college football a lot, is that guys never bring their feet when they hit. They either stop or go to their knees. If you want to be a great tackler, wrap up, run 2 steps and squeeze, and run through. Yep. Don't put him down.
Yep, run right through it.
Take your shot.
Johnson and Drum in the backfield. They go toss sweep. Here's Johnson. Toward the end zone, touchdown. 16-yard touchdown run. Johnson's 3rd of the game.
Boy, nice block, and a couple of Iowa State defenders at the next level taken to the turf. Johnson, a low hurdle. Just hurdles right over the top of him to the corner of the end zone, right inside the pylon.
That steel plate in his shoe. It's helping you get off the ground.
It's like PF Flyer, making him run and jump higher. Run faster, jump higher. Man.
You know, that soft surface has to make a difference on that turf toe. I had that before, and I'll tell you, it's a bear. But
it is.
Playing on the grass was always a little bit easier.
Mariscal, good snap, good hold, a line drive kick. It was about 10'2" over the crossbar, but it works. 20-9. Cortland Johnson, 2 rushing touchdowns coming in. He has 3 here in the first half.
The football, it's going to go 10 yards. And he does the onside kick and angles it too severe an angle. It only ends up going 7 or 8 out of bounds. Iowa State gets great field position. And Gary Barnett's talking to his kicker like, if I make the call, come on, you got to at least bail me out and make the thing go at least 10 yards.
Yeah, they had it, Dave. Kurt Schrader, the end on that side for the receiving team, took off a little early.
Yep, turned his back before the ball was
kicked. You know what? I love that kind of call. I don't think enough coaches take chances, or in your vernacular, aggressive, and I agree with that, in the middle of a football game.
Right.
Why not?
I agree with you, and it's, I do want to say this, though. It's a little easier to make that call when you're 3 and 6.
That is true.
I mean, you know, you're more apt to pull the trigger.
Yeah, don't leave any bullets in the chamber, you know. Why leave them in there?
Haywood. Bill Jackson came up and spilled him, but he dove ahead for about 3 or 4 yards. Here's a run again by Cortland Johnson.
Watch the execution down the football field by the offensive line. The tight end blocks down. The big tackle Rogers gets a kick-out block. Tremendous cut block by Girard. Takes 2 people down. Cortland Johnson hurdles them and inside the pylon. Excellent blocking by the right side. Tight end blocking down. Tackle, guard pulling, getting their blocks. Nice job.
Yeah, Cortland Johnson's shown excellent patience and vision today when he's running the football.
Rosenfels. And Colorado was in better position to defend that little counter that has been so successful, but he still got about 6 yards. Sykes, the tackler.
You know, Jay Shaw made a nice play right there.
Look at this, guys. Oklahoma comes all the way back, and they remain #1. They knock off the Aggies, and my hat's off to Bobby Stoops. In 2 years, he becomes the #1 team in the nation. And look at the schools they've knocked off this year.
It's beat A&M down there when you're down by 14 at one point. Come back and win the football game. Oklahoma's a team that's gotten off the mat more than once to remain #1.
3rd and short. Jarney now goes back to throw.
Free play.
And it's incomplete. It
Colorado's
was a free
off.
play.
Yeah.
Colorado jumped.
Yep.
They did a good job. It looked like he faked the quarterback sneak. They wanted to draw the corners up. They wanted to hit Haywood going off on a takeoff pattern down the sidelines.
And he did a little voice inflection, a hard count. His offensive line did a good job of holding their water. And he pulled the Colorado defenders off the line of scrimmage like they're on a string.
Leaving bullets out of the chamber or in the chambers, that's a heck of a call. You got
defense, 5-yard penalty.
You got 1 yard to go. You fake the quarterback sneak. You try to hit the fly pattern. I think that's a great call.
Yeah, I think he was probably going to make it a 4-down territory. If that didn't work, he was going to go for it on 4th and short. He already had made his mind up 2 plays into it. Take my chance. If it doesn't work out, I'm going for it on 4th and short. I really think that.
Well, when you do that, yeah, that's a good time to do it. 3rd down. 3rd down's a great play action down.
And real short like that.
From the 30-yard line, Iowa State with a 1st down. Oh, Haywood. They ran a run blitz, and they ran right into Hayward. And coming up the gut was Aaron Killian, who's really come on, a sophomore inside backer from Kingwood, Texas.
You know, Coach Okra, the defensive coordinator of Colorado, told us number 56, Killian, was their best blitzer on their football team. And he said to watch out for him today. We're going to get him involved in the game plan and get him in the game. I'll tell you, I've been watching him. He's got a nose for the football. He's instinctive, and he finishes plays, and he brought his feet when he tackled. That's what you want to see.
And he's 6'3", 235 pounds and young, only going to get bigger. He's a stud.
See, Spielman's excited again.
Love them linebackers.
2nd and 13. Rosenfels has Anthony. Oh, couldn't haul it in at the 8-yard line.
And, you know, Sage Rosenfels knows that you get about a half a dozen opportunities during the course of a football game to make a big play, and this was one of those. He has Anthony. Anthony's got everybody beaten by a step or so up the sideline, up the perimeter, and really Roderick Sneed was the primary coverage guy, and Sage Rosenfels knows that if he throws the ball a little bit more accurately, it may not only be a completion, it may be a touchdown completion.
Rosenfels 3 of 8 for just 24 yards. 3rd and 13. They need the 20.
Nice.
Underneath throw, flag comes in. Haywood will have the 1st down with that 2nd effort or be very close.
Got a hold,
but a flag was thrown by the umpire. And Dave, you know when the umpire throws the flag, what he's looking at.
Yeah, very rarely does it go the other way where you have an illegal block where the defensive lineman gets their hands up to the offensive lineman's face mask, but that's what Sage Rosenfels is saying. He's saying it's going against Colorado. They get their hands up to the headgear. You know, you can't, when you're pass rushing, the defensive player can't get their hands up in the face mask of the offensive lineman. That's what Sage Rosenfels is saying, and it's a personal foul going against Colorado. So big play for Iowa State. See if we can detect the guilty party here. Right here, you see the hand up and bending that head. He's got the hand up in the face mask and bending that head backwards.
Hands to the face on the defense. 15-yard penalty. That's an automatic 1st down.
The old face scrub.
Yeah, I mean, he got up there, and was that Jarney that got his hand up there and just like twisted his head backwards, and You know, you're allowed to, you can't head slap anymore. You can shoulder slap, you can bull rush, but you can't get up in the headgear and bend the lineman's head backwards. It's rare, but it does happen.
It's not a bad technique if you don't get caught.
Yeah, exactly.
they're all good techniques, right, Chris, if you don't get caught.
For the defensive side of the ball.
Rutland is the single setback, and he gets the football. And he runs into Drew Walrus. Got to the line of scrimmage, that's all. And you look at the snow coming down, and in certain pockets of the field, it looks frozen. Again, the game time temperature at kickoff was 19, and that was about as high as it was going to get. I think this thing's going to go down in the single digits, maybe lower.
See, I think a guy like Haywood, who's a power back, you know, a workhorse, not a tremendous, you know, cutback guy like a Barry Sanders. I think it favors that type of running back, but the smaller backs that rely on the quick cuts, it hurts this playing field condition.
This is that crossbuck formation.
Well, they got the two quick guys in there, Wagner and Rutland. And they run that cross buck, and they don't get much with it. Killian again, there's your guy, Chris. He knocks down Wagner, and it'll be 3rd down and 10.
Killian says that's enough of the cross buck. You know, and Gary Barnett, the head coach, when we spoke with him, he said Killian's playing the best of the linebackers. He gave him some pretty high praise as well. And the future looks bright for Barnett. You know, because he's played 10 freshmen, true freshmen. 7 of them have started at one time or another. And they're gaining some valuable experience. These freshmen, with all their playing time, are already almost sophomores at this point in time.
Big play here for the Cyclones with 4:12 to go in the first half. A delay to Wagner. And he gets it to the 10. It'll be a couple of yards short. And I would assume Dan McCarney would try to take the 3, but you never know.
Yeah, he is. He's sending the field goal unit on, but once again, you got to think, you got to get a good snap, good hold, and good kick. We've seen 2 extra points that have been botched up between the snapper and the holder. You have to have all 3 phases operate perfectly, and it's been dicey so far in this football game.
I think it's a good decision by Dan McCarney. Anytime you're on the road, you have a chance to get points on the board during the game. You got to take the points.
Yep.
Corey Hannon's the snapper. Good snap and a good hold. Perfect. And Gomez right down the middle. So Iowa State takes advantage of the short field after the missed onside kick attempt, 20-12.
And welcome back to Boulder, Colorado. 3:27 left to go to halftime. Colorado leading Iowa State 20-12. Hi again, everyone. I'm Jim Knox, and coming up on your Sonic America's Drive-In halftime report. Number of Big 12 matchups going on today, including Oklahoma against Texas A&M. We'll check the Big 12 scoreboard. Also, we head to our college football studios in Los Angeles for a preview of tonight's big game between Kansas State and Nebraska. This and much more coming your way on the Sonic America's Drive-In halftime report. Drew?
All right, Jim, we'll look forward to that. 3:27 to go, an 8-point Colorado lead.
Knoxie's a tough guy. He doesn't even wear a coat. It's a 9-degree wind chill out there.
Yeah, we have to keep a camera on him. He may be running indoors and staying warm in between his takes on the field. Matt Brunson puts the knee down, and Colorado will begin at their 20-yard line. And both schools, guys, wanted to run the football, and both have done a pretty good job in the running game.
Yeah, they have. They've gotten that established. I think they're both pretty happy in that area. Turnover was costly, you know, giving a short field that was able to be taken advantage of. That was a factor in this football game. And whenever you have a weather situation like we have here, ball security is premium. There's no doubt about it.
Well, I think Coach Barnett's extremely happy because they haven't been able to run the football, and it makes Okra more of an effective quarterback. Or
Oaks, right.
Oaks with a man in his face got blown up. Deep ball for Green, and out of bounds. Ansley had him, and Oaks took a real shot from Matt Word, who was coming on a blitz.
Yeah, he sure was, and he kissed him pretty good, but you see the arm strength once again of Oaks. As he's getting detonated, he still throws the ball 40, 45 yards down the football field.
You know, that's a matchup Colorado 1 and 2 with the size difference on the wide receivers and the corners, and you know Oaks just throws it up for a jump ball. You got a pretty good chance of winning it.
Yeah, they get Iowa State. They've got 5'7" to 5'9" guys on the cornerback spots.
What's wrong with guys that height? Bobby Purified for about 4 or 5 yards. You know, yesterday we took our all-pro linebacker Chris Spielman and our Hall of Fame in our mind offensive guard Dave Lampham out on the field for a little pass rush drill.
Reggie Hayward's best move is a speed rush, and here's how it works. Set, go. He wants to get the tackle's shoulders, turn to the sidelines, take his arm, slap his elbow, swim over top. That gives him a two-way go. If Reggie Hayward can get it done, he will be a dangerous football player today.
And in a little while, we'll show you how you counter that if you're an offensive lineman. There's a great catch right over the middle of the football field. Daniel Graham to the 35-yard line. He paid a price. Doug Densmore gave him a lick. First down, Colorado. Now, if you're an offensive tackle, here's how you would combat that pass rush technique.
To counter a speed rusher, it starts with your feet and ends with your hands. Now, you have to take a good intersect point with your feet, a good kick step. Don't turn your shoulders. Get your head inside of his. Don't overset, and get good hand placement and finish the block. Sit, go, and then finish. That's an Academy Award-winning performance by Chris Spielman.
I was just going to say, you know, that's a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah.
If a 47-year-old could throw me out of the saloon.
48. Oh, 48. Give me my just due now.
Don't short him on years.
That's right.
We've got a timeout on the field. Colorado the first down when we come back, leading 20-12 in snowy Boulder. And as we come back, John Minardi on a little hitch route, hauls it in from Craig Oakes, picks up about 4 yards. The confidence has grown each and every week for Craig Oakes, and now he's going to run a 2-minute drill. They're right to the line of scrimmage.
And he's perfectly capable. This kid's got not only a quick release and quick feet, he's got a quick mind. He's a very instinctive football player.
And that's complete. Javon Green, first down. That'll stop the clock at the 48-yard line. First 4 possessions this afternoon for Colorado.
Well, they certainly have been productive after the first. Well, they ran their most plays just about in their first possession, punted, but look at that. 3 straight touchdowns. One of them a quick strike variety, 80 yards and only 3 snaps.
Daniel Graham had it slapped away at the last instant by Atif Austin.
And you know, Chris, that's it. When you're 5'7", 5'8", 5'9", you've been, you know, battling the bigger people all your life. That violent rake, stripping the football, time and that is the key to being successful, isn't it?
Well, that was a great play by Atif. What he did was he had a good break on the football. Instead of going for the ball, he timed his smack or spike or whatever you want to call it, arm across the arm on Daniel Graham. That's the only way you can cover that big fella.
Sure.
He's going to box. Daniel Graham will box him out of the body. Look at Daniel Graham moves out to a slot receiver right here. That's a nice advantage.
There he is.
Again, you have the size mismatch.
Quarterback draw, and Oakes take it down from the backside. It's Ryan Sloth, a cornerback, and now Colorado's going to call a timeout. They're looking at a 3rd down and 9 with 1:30 to go in the first half.
That's a nice call by defensive coordinator Sclodani there. That was that zone blitz where they're bringing 2 guys from the outside, dropping 2 inside interior linemen out, and bringing speed off the outside with defensive backs. And number 22, Ryan Sloth, did do an excellent job in finishing the play.
And once again, Coach Barnett has to be holding his breath every time Oakes gets hit. He went out in last week's game in the first half with a contusion to his foot. So when he gets hit, he gets dragged down from behind, and they start twisting and yanking on his feet and his ankles. You got to be a little bit nervous about that.
You were playing in the NFL when the zone blitz became all the rage, and now there's high school teams running zone blitzes.
Well, you know, it's a great defense because what it does is it allows you to play a solid run defense, and it allows you to blitz the quarterback without any fear of repercussion as far as having a safety deep. You're always going to have a safety deep. You can play a cover 3 zone out of it. Now, what you're a little vulnerable to is the outside pass routes.
Right.
But I like it because, you know, the quarterback has a hard time reading it. He doesn't know if it's a man blitz or a zone blitz, and it's a good rundown defense blitz too.
I think if you got a good tight end, that's where he can become a weapon, you know, against his own blitz.
He's your hot receiver.
Yep, no question.
In fact, he was open there in that last one.
Yes, he was.
Next week, we'll see 16th ranked Kansas State. They'll be in Columbia, Missouri to take on the Missouri Tigers. 9:30 on the West Coast, 12:30 on the East Coast. 3rd and 9, and Minardi could not hang on. He dropped the football at the 41, or more accurately, he just couldn't squeeze it. He was in a sandwich. Adam Runk there, number 9. And Colorado with 1:25 left, will punt the football.
I'll tell you, that was a nice throw by Oaks.
It was.
Kind of threaded the needle, and Atif had a good break on the ball, but he just turned his head a little bit late. And that's a catch you'd like to see made.
I'll tell you, Oaks gave his receiver the only opportunity to make a play on the football. I mean, he put it where only the receiver was going to get his hands on it. It was very accurate in a small spot.
Also in that middle zone, he put it low so the receiver can protect himself when he does catch the ball.
Flores ran with it for a moment and then punts it. Moses calling for a fair catch and executes it at the 11-yard line. 1:16 left, a 40-yard punt. Our Dr. Pepper all-purpose yards leader in the Big 12 conference, Hodges Mitchell leading. And then Ennis Haywood, J.J. Moses, 2 and 3. Iowa State with a very productive offense this year. They came in 31st in the country in total offense.
411?
Yeah,
like 411 a game, something like that, I think.
Yep,
total offense.
413.
413, pretty strong. I mean, it shows the balance. They get their running back and they get their key receiver, number 2 and 3, you know, in the conference in total yards. That's pretty balanced.
And they were 19th in the country last week till they ran into K-State.
Yep.
A big stand by the Cyclone defense there after giving up 3 in a row.
See if they're aggressive here. They'll go draw. Haywood, nice move. And Haywood, very smart, goes out of bounds at the 20. That'll stop the clock. And there are just one timeout left now for Iowa State.
Dave, you know this from playing offensive line. And for the folks at home when you're watching, anytime you see the first play of the 2-minute drill, 90% of the time it's a draw or screen.
Right.
Every time, just to get your offense moving and hopefully gain some positive yards. Now they'll put the ball in the air.
Particularly with the field position like it was.
Yes.
2nd and 3, Rosenfels. And this is Banks, the tight end. First down, his initial catch of the football game out to the 27. Spilled by Terrence Wood.
He's still down. He brought the wood and it splintered. He's still down. I mean, you get a kid that's a pretty potent weapon, 6'4", 254-pound tight end, and he just he took the axe to Wood.
Guys, you remember playing in the cold weather. One of the worst feelings is when flesh hits the hard plastic.
You know, I'll tell you, in that freeze bowl you're talking about, I remember I was playing against Big Hands Johnson. We ran the ball the first play, threw a double forearm shot. I thought I broke my arms in 18 places. I did not know.
Didn't feel them again until Tuesday.
Oh, man, I remember taking a half-hour boiling hot shower after that game to thaw out, and then all of a sudden you start to thaw. Oh, man, I'm sore here. There. You didn't even know how sore you were until you thawed out. It was brutal.
Well, this works out well for Iowa State. Now they can call 2 or 3 plays in the huddle, get up to the line of scrimmage, and they get a timeout, basically.
Right, due to injury.
From the injury to the Colorado player.
Yep.
From their own 27, inside a minute to play in the first half. 20-12, Colorado. Haywood and Ja'Shawn Sykes got him around the ankles, an advance of 8 yards.
You know, Colorado's playing it too deep there, and Ja'Shawn did a nice job of carrying the tight end and take the pressure off the 2 safeties deep, break up and make a nice play on Ennis Haywood.
Tight end again, Banks.
Michael Lewis, nice hit.
Yep, Michael Lewis, 31, came up.
The clock stops here while they move the chains in college football on a first down, but Colorado's going to give them this short stuff. There's less than 30 seconds to go. Iowa State's going to have to get it in a little bit more chunks if they want to compete even to execute a field goal opportunity.
Got to find a way to get Chris Anthony involved here.
They have not as of yet. It was open.
Right, it was overthrown.
On the last series, and the ball was just slightly overthrown. 24 seconds left now for Iowa State. They probably need about 30 yards to get off a decent field goal effort.
In Colorado, Chris, I mean, they're not going to let anything get behind them. It's not going to be like Flutie at Boston College against Miami throwing the ball behind people. No. These guys are going to not let the deepest guy get behind them.
You're going to play too deep. You're going to have safeties across the board too deep. And even your corners are going to play a little bit softer, not give up the deep ball downfield.
There's a 2 deep secondary. Rosenfels.
Oh, a little shovel.
And on the shovel, Haywood is shoveled to the ground. And the clock is stopped with 15 seconds left.
It's a good call today, you know, with the snow, a little shovel. You need a few of those out there in the football field, you know. Maybe they'll clear up some of the yard markers, but Rosenfels has got his check down man right there. Haywood just shovels it up the football field for a few extra yards that he might get if he had tucked it and run.
You know, we didn't see it on the replay, but that cover two, that corner toward the Colorado bench got a little bit anxious, and Craig Campbell was open down the sidelines. If he would have just hung in there a little bit patient, stay in that pocket a little longer before he does go the check down, they may have had a chance for a big play.
20-12 our score. 6-3 Iowa State. They want to finish strong this year. Dan McCarney talked about it yesterday.
There's only 7 teams in the last 90 years at Iowa State that have won 7 games. There's only 4 teams in the last 90 years at Iowa State that have won 8 games. So there's a lot of things to be playing for, along with the possibilities of going to a great bowl game at the end of the season.
Well, they've accomplished a lot already, but clearly McCarney, his staff, and his players not satisfied.
Yeah, they really they've set themselves up for something special, but they want to finish it off. And they were very embarrassed by what happened last week in Manhattan, Kansas. They felt like they had a good week of practice. They'd come out and play hard against Colorado, and so far they have. I mean, it's been a very competitive football game, and I think it's going to be so for the entire game.
3 receivers to the near side. 3rd and 4, more importantly, 15 seconds left. They throw on the backside, and it's complete. Out of bounds at the 38-yard line, a pickup of 17 yards. It is Anthony's first catch of the ball game, and there's 9 seconds left.
You know, I don't want to question Coach Oker, because obviously he's a great football coach and he knows what he's doing, but you have to stay with the 2 deep coverage. They went to a zone blitz there. Left the man one-on-one. Anthony was one-on-one out there in the corner. You create great field position when you were in cover 2. You were stopping him and forcing him to check the ball down.
No timeouts for the Cyclones. They need to do something quick to get a little better yardage situation. And evidently, they're going to throw it for the end zone. And it is dropped in the end zone, but that, well, I was going to say it was going to be the final snap. There are 2 seconds left. So Iowa State jog back to the huddle and do it again. You a little surprised they didn't try maybe a quick out, try to get a field goal off of 50 plus?
Yeah, or even a quick out to get an easier throw to the end zone for Rosenfels. I mean, make the Hail Mary a little bit less of a hail right there. And yeah, the move that Anthony made against Jackson, Anthony knows where he's cutting on this slick surface, and Jackson can't keep his feet. I mean, this type of football field favors the receivers big time. Got Bo, Larry, and Curly right here.
And Rosenfels will roll to that side and throw it up toward the end zone. And it is intercepted in the end zone by Matt Duran, a backup defensive back, and that will be the final play of the first half. It was entertaining, 20-12. Gary Barnett's Buffaloes leading, and Jim Knox is with Coach Barnett. Jim?
Okay, thanks, Drew. Coach, you have to be extremely pleased, leading by 8 at the break. You're doing a nice job running the football today.
We are. We're able to get a little movement on the line of scrimmage, and I like the way our backs are running. Just got to get our passing game, kind of catch the ball a little bit better here in the second half, and then we've given up too many yards on defenses. You know, big plays. We got to get that under wraps at halftime.
All right, Coach, best of luck in the second half. Drew?
All right, Jim, thank you very much. With snowflakes falling in Boulder, the Buffaloes, they know the climate well. They lead by 8. Coming up, the Sonic America's Drive-In Halftime Report.
Huge matchups. Already 1 game complete, and that took place in College Station, Texas. #1 Oklahoma comes from 14 points down, and they knock off Texas A&M. The final in that one, 35-31. Games going on right now. Texas all over Kansas in the 4th quarter, 51-16. Oklahoma State losing big to Texas Tech, 58-0, and Missouri leading Baylor big, 40-14. And tonight in Manhattan, Kansas, it's the showdown between Kansas State and Nebraska. And coming up next, we head to our college football studios in Los Angeles, where we join the team, and they will go for the big showdown against Kansas State and Nebraska. Stay with us.
They're going to face one another, and you look at the fact that the winner of this game, you know, is taking a giant step towards the possibility of a conference championship, and it's going to be a great football game.
It's really a big game for us. You know, this is one game that we anticipated all year, and we feel like this is what it all comes down to. We know Nebraska has a great team over there. You know, we're gearing up every day in practice for them, and we know it's going to be all-out war.
I don't think about it as a rivalry game. I just think about
You know, every game we have to come out and do the same thing and play dominant football, and so it's a huge game for us. And if you want to call it the rivalry game, you can, but you know, I don't think about it in those terms as much as someone else might.
Nebraska leads the nation in rushing, but as Oklahoma proved, if you stuff a bunch of guys in the box, the Huskers can be stopped. The Sooners held the Huskers to an anemic 195 yards rushing. Kellen, I feel like you've turned the corner. I feel like you have the information and the knowledge to tell us who will win this game and why.
No need to go over here. You can stay right here with Kellen. Kellen will give you the answer. Nebraska wins this ball game today because of their quarterback, Eric Crouch, who's had an outstanding year. Even with that Oklahoma game, an outstanding year. He is the key to this offense. The ability to escape the pass rush, make plays, and when he's very decisive, Artie, when he decides to run the football, he tucks it away, he takes care of it, and he runs the ball up the field. Nebraska wins today because of their quarterback, Eric Crouch.
You know, he's played good this year, but I think Kansas State's going to win because of their defense. They're going to put 8, 9, and sometimes 10 guys around the line of scrimmage. But first down is the key down. If Kansas State can get some tackles for losses on first down and make Nebraska pass on 2nd and 3rd and long, Kansas State wins because Nebraska can't pass. Listen to me. Write this stuff down.
Kansas State wins.
I think you're going to upset them.
They beat your Heisman candidate, Eric Crouch.
Well, I've changed.
You knew this would happen. I knew this would happen.
Over and over and
Up
over
next,
again.
after the break, it's back to Boulder in your second half. Jim Knox to take care of business when we return.
For my blanket.
Yeah, they did. That was their goal, and both got it accomplished. And really, the guy that really hurt the Colorado Buffaloes was Sage Rosenfels. And here, he's going to throw the football, sees a big gap in the pass rush lane and takes advantage of it. But he also hurt him on the option. He rushed for 100 yards the first half. And Cortland Johnson, excellent blocking. He just short hurdle over a couple of defenders. He takes it to the corner of the end zone, scored a couple of touchdowns. He got the running game going for Colorado as well.
When two teams are going to run the football, that Chris Spielman's a linebacker's dream, and Ja'Shawn Sykes, one of the better backers in college football.
Oh, he definitely is, and one thing he brings to the game is a little bit of lateral movement. Take a look at him here. This is an excellent lead on the screen pass. He beats the guard out there, makes a good tackle, open field tackle on a good back, and it's Haywood. Now again, he didn't go for the fake. He's able to change direction, come back, and take care of Rosenfels. And again, you'll see the change of direction, especially on a wet field, to make a sure tackle against Amos Haywood. I've been very impressed with him so far. He's a good football player and one to watch.
Yeah, a lot of plays defensively and plenty of good production offensively. 20-12, the count at halftime in snowy Boulder, Colorado. The Buffs leading the Cyclones. (20-12), Colorado leading Iowa State as we take a look at some of the numbers from the first half. Both teams, as we mentioned, able to run the football. Iowa State in particular with Sage Rosenfels over 100 yards, their quarterback. In fact, he broke the 100-yard barrier on his first 5 carries of the game. What else jumps out at you guys?
Well, that one's huge. You know, Iowa State, they wanted to get it going. Colorado wanted to hold Iowa State to less than $150. They didn't even get it done in a half. Colorado wanted to rush for 100, and they get very close in a half.
This is a little surprising to me when you have 19-16 and 10-44 in possession time, and you're losing the football game.
That evened it up.
Yeah,
Turnovers.
I think for Iowa State to get back in it, and they had a good stand defensively toward the end of the second half, they have to play better defensively. They have to get up off the field, because if they don't, they have no chance. They have a good enough offense to be a good team and win this football game. But defensively, they got to get it together.
Iowa State trying to pick off their 7th win of the year. Colorado playing for momentum toward next year. Big 12 football is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. By Bushnell, makers of the extra wide binocular, extra wide for extra fun. And by Citgo, you know me. Let's go downstairs. Jim Knox on a frigid day with Dan McCarney, the head coach at Iowa State.
Coach, your club did some good things in the first half, down by 8. Here, heading in the second half, what can we look forward to?
Well, we're moving the ball. We came up short, had to kick a couple field goals. We got to knock those in the end zone. We get in the red zone. In defense, we finished strong, but we were too soft against the run. We've got to get a couple turnovers here in the second half, Jim. It's going to be a hell of a second half.
Okay, best of luck, Coach. Thank you.
Drew.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. And all season long, Dave, they have been able to get turnovers.
Yeah, they have, and Coach is right. It's been a track meet between the 20s. I mean, they had 276 yards offense. You know, in the time of possession, that should compute to more than 12 points, but red zone, lack of execution in the red zone for Iowa State's offense, or red zone execution defensively for Colorado, a big factor in that first half.
Yeah, you got to see, this is a huge series for Iowa State right now. Their defense has to come out and set some kind of tempo here. They have to get a 3-and-out or 6-and-out, but they can't let Colorado score in this drive.
Rosenfels throwing the ball 67 yards and running it for 107, so he's been a factor in their production, Drew.
Absolutely. Colorado, as you guys mentioned, will get the football. You played on some great Ohio State teams. Dave, you played on some very good teams at Syracuse. Colorado's trying to get that swagger back, trying to get the confidence back, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Well, they're doing it, and it would do a lot of good to beat a 6-3 football team today at home, to get that swagger, and to go 3-0 in their second season of the year.
Brunson and Cedric Cormier back. This is Matt Brunson, who fields it 5 yards deep in the end zone. And Colorado from the 20, Craig Oaks, without a long sleeve shirt on, will head on the field. 9 of 13, 139. You know, Mo Ankney, who's an outstanding defensive coordinator and has been for a number of years at Missouri, paid him maybe the ultimate compliment. Listening to his post-game radio show last week, he said, this guy's the finest young quarterback I've seen in about a decade in college football. He reminds me of a young John Elway.
Well, that's some serious praise right there. And I think he's got a great last name, Oaks. When I think of Oaks, I think of strength. Craig Oaks has got plenty of strength.
Bobby Purify gets the second half start. And the true freshman busts one for about 14 yards. He's from Palmer High School down in Colorado Springs.
You know, nothing fancy, just Colorado had taken control of the line of scrimmage and come off the football and do it again. A little motion by the H-back. He gets his block, a little double rub combination inside, and the one guy to beat. You get the athlete beating him. And here's the kid that was on the state championship basketball team. Plenty of athletic ability for Purify.
Close to 200 pounds on a 6'1 frame. A flag comes in the area of holding.
Yeah, I think Gerard got called. Yeah. Gerard was working against Harklaw and took him to the turf. I think they may have nailed him.
You know, Gerard's their nastiest lineman, and he got a little nasty there, but he's probably has the best chance out of any of those guys to be an NFL player. He's big, he's strong, and the thing that you and I liked about him, Dave, and watching the film in Colorado, is that he has that nastiness to finish plays.
He does. He finishes. He's got long arms, Chris. Right. You know,
on the offense, 10-yard penalty, spot of the foul, remains first down.
You know, Gerard, the thing that you like, here's Gerard at the left guard position, and Gerard just when he gets the block, gets the hands outside the framework and kind of bulldogs from the ground a little bit. I think you get serious points in a rodeo. But he got called for a hold on that one.
He went to the Dave Lampham School of Blocking, I see.
First down at 21 after the walk-off. We may have to separate you two. And the delay, Purify. The guy splattering all around the field. Gets to the 31-yard line. Justin Eilers, 48. A kickboxer when he's not playing football. We'll get credit for the tackle. There's Eilers.
Purify is a guy that Coach Barnett wanted to get involved in the offense, and he did say in our meeting yesterday that he certainly has improved for being a freshman. He understands and he wants to see him hit the hole with some authority, and he's certainly doing that today. At least the past 2 runs he's been doing that.
Yeah, he's not showing the tentativeness that they were concerned about.
2nd and 13. Oaks to Javon Green, and he makes the catch in front of Jamarcus Powers, his 4th reception of the game. And Green finished strong a year ago. He had 3 100-yard games in the final 5 contests for Colorado.
Well,
none so far this year.
Well, Green boxed Powers out. Green's got the big body. Green 6'3", Powers is 5'8", 5'9". Green got the inside position, boxed him out, and got the rebound. I mean, that's what it boiled down to, is he got the body position and established it and maintained it.
He said, I want a game that people will remember for a long time today. The senior playing his final game at Folsom Field. It's 3rd and a yard. And they go to the smooth one, and that is Cortland Johnson. And I think his initial progress will be enough for a first down. Again, it's 48 Eilers.
You know, Dan McCarney was worried about Johnson because he rushed for 185 yards against Iowa State last year. And the first half, he was a big difference maker, running through tacklers for touchdowns. And then he takes advantage of nice blocking up front, bounces a little bit. Daniel Graham gets the key block, and he bounces to the outside. And then he gets great blocking from the right side of his offensive line. A little hurdle right inside the pylon for his third touchdown. So Dan McCarney had a real good reason to be concerned.
Play action on first down, and Oaks goes down, and that's that.
Yep.
The field probably getting a little slicker. It has been flurrying throughout the ball game. The temperature again at game time was 19 degrees, but it is much colder than that right now. Jim Knox is down on that field. Jim's got his spikes on. Jim? Knoxy, can you hear us?
I guess while we're waiting for Jimbo, you know that 3 touchdowns that Cortland Johnson had, 3 rushing touchdowns, ties a career high, and he got it in a half. So that's pretty productive half for the young man.
You know, with Colorado running the football, you saw what play that was, guys. That was a play action. That was set up by the 2 successful runs they previously had.
Colorado goes empty, and they throw it to Cormier, and Timmons read it pretty well, and then a hit a couple of yards out of bounds, but I think there was momentum, at least from the defensive player, no flag, and it'll be third down.
That's a nice read by Michael Timmons on reading that split receiver screen, and a great job of finishing the play, forcing him out of bounds. Sloth came up to finish the play. It was close, though. It was close.
Oh, we've seen a couple of late hit penalties.
He was in bounds. What are you talking about?
Defensive players' mentality.
Yeah, don't show the replay of that, though.
I'll tell you, some fans are starting to fire snowballs out in the field, guys. That's going to be a problem here as this goes on. Iowa State's defensive targets out there.
45-yard line. Colorado needs to get to McCready. And he lost the football. And Iowa State has it.
I think Powers knocked it out of there.
46-yard line. Jamarcus Powers.
Yeah, Dan McCarney said we're going to get some turnovers. We have to get turnovers, and they answered the challenge.
Powers came out. I think Runk might have been one that was involved in the hit. And I'll tell you what, turnovers are the great equalizer. There's no question about that. And this is one of the tougher wide receivers, the best blocker that they've got. So when he gets his hand on the football, McCready, you know, he's usually pretty secure with it. But boy, you talk about laying the leather right on there. Powers puts the hit, and he is the one that separates it.
Chance for Iowa State to get right back there with Colorado. Down 8, good field position. Banks a little bit behind him with Corey Masoni closing quickly at 2nd and 10.
You know, guys, that's a bootleg, and it's set up off the play action. He had Chris Anthony on a crossing pattern. We talked about it the first half. We talked about it last week. They like to repeat plays. They're going to come back to that play, and he's going to see Anthony coming across the middle. And don't forget that Iowa State, Colorado staff told us this, Iowa State is 90% oriented running their offensive plays to a tight end.
Exactly. They're very, very tight end in the formation oriented. No tight end in this situation, though.
3 receivers right, 1 left. Here's Rosenfels, and Rosenfels gets about 12 yards. Guys, this has been the play that has been most effective for Iowa State. It's the reason that Sage Rosenfels has well over 110 yards rushing.
And I'll tell you, the guy that had the big block was Stensrud. Watch him from the right tackle position get up the football field and throw the blocks. This is a former tight end. He gets up the field, turns his shoulder pads squared up, and he gets through the hole and gets an excellent block. So athletic enough to pull from that right tackle position, get his shoulder pads squared up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and it's difficult for an offensive tackle to block a defensive back. That was a great job. Very nice. Checking the play.
Yeah, he was a tight end for 3 years.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
Bannon moved up front. Haywood gets the football, and Haywood gets pulled down from behind after an advance of about 5 yards. And let's try again with Jim Knox. Knoxy.
There we go, Drew. I'm frozen down here on the sidelines. I tell you what, this field's very much going to be a factor today, because as the day gets longer, temperatures continue to drop and the snow continues to fall. It's extremely slick down here. It will definitely be a factor. Drew?
All right, Jim, and we've seen more and more players slip. But guys, obviously most football games are played between the 25, 30-yard lines. If you look from the 20 on into the end zone, you can barely see the Buffaloes in the end zone.
Not much happening in the red area.
2nd and 5, Rosenfels complete. Moses breaks a tackle by Lewis, and he slides down at the 30-yard line. Another Iowa State first down.
You know, the field conditions do favor the skilled positions on offense. Sure. Because they're running forward. They're usually the best athletes on the team, and an athletic guy that can keep his feet under him and keep his balance has an advantage in this type of weather.
Well, and he knows exactly where and when he's making his cut, and the defender has to react. So when you try to react and make a violent cutting reaction, you're in trouble. I think the offensive linemen have an advantage because they know the snap count. They can come off the football quicker. I really think it benefits everybody offensively.
Haywood's lined up at fullback, and Wagner's lined up at tailback in this set. And they give it to Wagner, and that is a form tackle that Chris Spielman will love. Jay-Sean Sykes, chest to chest, helmet to helmet.
Yeah, I do love it, and I'll tell you why. Because it's one step and wrap, two steps and squeeze. Take a look at the replay here. Again, he has a nice flow, a nice read, good feet, boom, helmet to helmet, face up. He doesn't put his head down because he knows when he puts his head down, he has a chance of injury. A good job of finishing and driving him back, and a nice job of holding his composure and not slamming him, which will put him through a 15-yard penalty, which I did get every so often.
Oh, just once in a while.
Good play, Jay-Sean. That away.
He should make a look. He's covered up here. He can't get a blocker on him. He should make a lot of plays.
He's coming on a blitz. They do get him on the blitz, and the pass is complete. And this is Moses again, still going to the 3-yard line. This guy is unbelievable. You talk about effort. We watched him a couple weeks ago, Dave, against Missouri. He ran over 2 players to get in the end zone on a reverse.
Well, I got a saying that it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. And this dog will fight you. And you know what? In this weather, it's like catching a rock. Watch him catch the ball with his hands. He doesn't let it get into his shoulder pads and eat him up. And he gets his hands out there, and then he does something after the catch. Phenomenal play by J.J. Moses.
Again, I can't emphasize the athlete that has the advantage on a slick field like this. And J.J.'s built low to the ground, so he has better leverage. Nice job.
First and goal at the 4. Rosenfels looking toward the end zone. Complete at the 1-yard line. Pulling it in is Anthony, and Roderick Sneed popped him out there. Actually, the route initially took him across the goal line. He came back for the football, so it's a pickup of about 2 yards.
You know, it's surprising to me a little bit that Iowa State doesn't decide to run the football at this point in the football field and at this stage of the game a little bit. I'd be interested to see if they run the ball here on 2nd down, but they're spreading the field again. But they do have a tight end in the formation. Double tight.
2 tights. Rosenfels on a long sneak. Touchdown. Delayed indication. Touchdown. And it's 20-18, and Iowa State will go for 2.
Rosenfels is 6'4", so if the offensive line gets any surge at all, Rosenfels just extends that big body. He can pick up a yard.
Yeah, Colorado, you're on a 1-yard line. You'd like to have that inside pitch, and I think that was almost a check with me with Rosenfels because he saw that there was gaps in there. You cannot have gaps when you're trying to defend your goal line. You're on a 1-yard line.
Yeah, the A-gaps weren't too secure, were they?
No, you need to have people in there, guys. You're down on a 1-yard line. You got to make them beat you outside. You can't give it up like that. You saw Sage. He came up to the line of scrimmage. He got hurried. He hurried up, got under the center before they could make a call.
Going for 2.
A sneak.
Going for 2 to tie it, Drew.
Moses is the nearest in the trip formation to the bottom of your screen. There he is. Now Rosenfels will call timeout, and the flag comes in because the play clock got to 0. Let's see if Terry Turlington will give him the timeout first. I believe they're going to mark off yardage, and now...
Dead ball. Unsporting conduct, throwing objects on the field.
Yeah, the snowballs I was talking about.
Well, the play clock was at 0. I was unsure what he was calling, but
they've been pelting them. The fans have been throwing the snowballs at Iowa State. I saw it early against Iowa State's defense, and the fans, it's real distracting if they throw the football by the football, throw snowballs by the football right as it's being snapped. And I'll tell you what, that cost Colorado some field position here.
You know, it's just foolish because if you're a fan, you're trying to support your team. You're doing anything but that by hurling snowballs. And now you put the football at the 1.5-yard line, if you will. And it is that much easier for Iowa State trying to tie it up at 20. They run an option, and Rosenfels won't get there.
And that's what the Colorado wanted to do, keep the ball in his hands, Drew. Sage Rosenfels, make him make the play. Don't pitch it. Don't let the running back make the play in the option. They executed well.
I'll tell you who made the play, 97, Justin Bannon. He closed it down, 2018 the count.
Sundays mean adventure on OLN. The champs are for real. These upstarts don't care. St. Louis's lethal attack is putting up numbers at a staggering pace.
They're just too good and too fast.
The G-Men have a spark of their own in the form of thunder and lightning. Bruce and the Rams, Tiki and the Giants. Somebody's going down. It's a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader this week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
Well, Iowa State wanted turnovers in the second half. They got one. They wanted to be productive on offense and punch it in the end zone, not settle for 3. They were able to do that. The only thing wrong with that drive by Sage Rosenfels is they couldn't get the 2-point conversion.
The fly in the ointment. There always seems to be one, you know.
A Buick scoring drive, 54 yards, 8 plays. Brunson will get a chance here, a yard deep.
Oh.
And he'll get it right to the 20-yard line. The flag comes in. Field judge threw a flag.
Usually got a hold.
Yeah, illegal block in the back or a hold or something like that on the return. It'll cost Colorado field position. Be inside their 20-yard line. Right at about the 10, I guess.
You know, as the field conditions worsen, field position comes a bigger
on the
factor.
run back. 10-yard penalty at the end of the run. First down.
You know, on a 2-point conversion try here by Iowa State, the key is you got to help. You got to move the down lineman. You got to move the down lineman here. And, you know, and really, Lorenzo White comes off the double team too soon. He leaves his center, Ben Bruns, out to dry. And you got to make sure you get moving on the down lineman before you try to rub off to that linebacker level. And you got to give Bannon a heck of a lot of credit for separating off the block and making the play.
And the big man looked like he was on ice skates out there. He goes about 345 pounds. Talking about Lorenzo White. They give it to Cortland Johnson. He breaks the initial tackle off the football, and they're going to call him down. He got about 2 yards. The ball came out very late, and Colorado gets a break.
That's a fumble. That is a fumble.
Yeah.
It was close. The whole question is whether or not Johnson's knee is down. Look again.
Now Hayward rips in there violently, and boy, the ball's out before his knee's on the ground.
Ball was out.
Yep. And the ball, the whistle's blowing, the ball's still alive, but this is going to be survival of the fittest. The one that can keep his feet best wins this football game.
Oates to McCready, and he'll have a first down. 21-yard line, Eric McCready. Second catch of the game. He scored his first career touchdown last week.
Now let's see, watch Johnson's knees. Are his knees down before the ball's out? Ball's out, knees not down. That's a fumble. But there's no replay, obviously, in college football. You know, the officials, as they're making their first step to react and come in from the sidelines, the line judge, the side judge, they're almost falling down. I mean, it's slip sliding away out there right now. You got to stay over your feet big time and take some of the violent cutting away.
Johnson, and taking him down, Jordan Karstens. Boy, was John Skladany, the defensive coordinator, raving about Mr. Karstens yesterday.
Yeah, the one thing he said about him was his effort level, and he deserves to play. And I'll tell you, that's a nice play. Anytime a big defensive lineman can get his hands on a little back running down the line of scrimmage, it's a great play. Really nice play.
6'5", 275-pound freshman that Coach Skladany, who you just saw, really likes. He's got a motor and he's earned playing time, and that's what it's all about. If you're productive, you get more snaps, bottom line.
Kid who's gained more than 60 pounds, believe it or not, in the last 18 months. He's involved in the tackle again. And it'll be 3rd down and about 6 to go for Colorado. They're clinging to a 2-point lead, 6:35 left in the 3rd quarter. Sitko Unomi, which former Colorado legend, holds the records for not only the longest punt, but also the longest punt return in Folsom Field history.
How about that for a nice tandem right there, punting and returning it.
Well, Justin Bannon, who made that play on the goal line, he had an interesting daily double last week. He had a sack and also scored a touchdown.
That's pretty sweet.
3rd and 6. Oaks in trouble. And he can't get rid of it. Huge loss on the play.
You got to get rid of it. I mean, you get out of pocket and you got to throw it away. Can't take the sack there.
Can't do that.
He takes the sack. They'll lose about 14 yards, and Colorado will punt it to Iowa State. The Cyclones figure to get great field position.
Take a look at this replay. This was what Coach Glenny told us yesterday, that what he wanted to do was bring 2 speed rushers off the outside, 2 DBs, and drop defensive linemen out.
Right.
That is your zone blitz. What it does is give you speed on the edge, and when you have a quarterback like Oaks, the only way you can get to him is with speed on the edge. Great call. Excellent call.
Flores will punt it from his own 5-yard line. By the time he hits it, oh man, good job again by Flores, and he hits a monster punt. Moses, the fair catch. And then the flag comes down right around midfield as well.
2 of them.
I'll tell you what, Flores 3 times today has saved Colorado.
That might have been one of the best plays of the game right there. Not just catching the football on the snap, but then to punt it as effectively as he did after saving the high snap. Great play.
Would have been a safety. Would have been a tied football game.
Yep. It's just a great effort. I mean, he gets full extension, and then he punts it away. And the penalty's on Colorado. Was that a halo infraction?
It may have been a halo infraction.
He can't get within 2 yards of the return man. And, you know, he was being blocked, though. That's ticky-tack if that was halo.
Well, we have a timeout. 20-18 Colorado. 5:13 to go in the 3rd.
Coming up next, the Dr. Pepper halftime show.
You make the world taste better. You make the world taste better. Dr. Pepper. You make the world taste better. You make the world taste better.
We keep it behind bars. Dodge Ram. Different.
20-18, Colorado leading. And here's the replay of the halo infraction. This one's close, folks.
Man, he's backing off. I mean, you know, that it's close, so you see him just backing out of there. You got to deal with Minardi saying, I'm not going to go into halo infraction. To call that, I think, is real ticky-tack.
Rosenfels will roll out and throw it. Late throw, never a good idea, and that hits the ground, incomplete. Trying to find.
McCarney says, I trust my seniors. I know they'll bounce back. And what you're seeing today, especially right now, is experience is winning out over youth as far as hanging in there, executing, and playing tough in a tough situation under tough conditions.
But the Cyclones still deficient by a couple of points on the scoreboard. Rosenfels changing the play. Blitz coming. Screen set up. And Sykes was in the neighborhood, a flag down, trying to get it to Haywood.
Too much time. The play clock expired. No play right there. It's a 5-yard penalty. You let the play clock go down to 0.
See Coach
Before the snap, delay of the game, on the offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
Coach Looney on the sidelines is giving his backup quarterbacks, the signal callers, a little bit of a hard time. He's saying, you got to get that play in there on time if I give it to you.
Absolutely, and you got to get in there quickly, because an experienced guy like Sage Rosenfels, a senior at the line of scrimmage, can get you out of a bad play and into a good one if he's got enough time to do so.
That's a great point, David.
You know, to follow up on Barnett, he's asking his juniors to act like seniors. You know, he wants everybody to advance one class.
Rosenfels in the flat. Here's Haywood. And Haywood will get it out to about the 44-yard line of Colorado. Drew Walrus ran him out. We check with our Sitko Unomi again. The former Colorado standout, who had the longest punt return, a guy Dave Lampham competed against in the National Football League, Byron Whizzer White. Now, how tough was he in the open field, Dave?
Now, they don't call him Whizzer for nothing, Drew. I mean, he had some elusiveness to him, and I hit him one time with that leather helmet, no face mask, and I paid the price.
We've learned that now over the last few years, how you paid that price.
No question.
That 27 game, I'll never forget it. Rosenfels on third down. It is complete. Guess who?
Wow.
Moses past Phil Jackson. He's got to beat Lewis.
Oh,
touchdown. Oh, what a play by J.J. Moses. Woo. 44 yards.
Moses led him to the promised land right there. Wow.
That's a great throw.
It was.
A super throw. One of the toughest throws to make in football. He put an outcut on the line. Johnson's got to make the tackle. There's no help behind him. He's got to come home and bring him in.
And I'll tell you, Rosenfels realized that Moses is quicker. You know, he's more like a Ferrari out there. He's got rack and pinion steering. And we talked about his ability to stay over his feet in this slick of a field. He is the perfect candidate to get the football to, and Rosenfels found him.
And Iowa State, looking for a 6-point separation, will go for 2. Got him all alone. Easy does it. And Ennis Haywood with a 2-point conversion. 26-20. Iowa State now leading Colorado in Boulder with 4:45 to go in the third.
All 12 are cast from the same mold. Their specifications and tolerances are exactly the same. But only one was made for you. Introducing the phones of the Big 12, only from Southwestern Bell Wireless and Nokia mobile phones. Support your team. Pick one up today.
Hurry into Sonic for a one-of-a-kind special you just can't get anywhere else. Try an extra-long coney covered with thick, meaty chili and lots of cheddar cheese, together with a large order of our famous hot and crispy tater tots. You know how much you love them, and you're going to love them even more now, because our Coney and Tots special is at a special low price.
Sonic America's driving.
Look what's back. Apple pie filling and real bits of crust blended into our delicious apple pie shake. Try one before they're gone.
Beneath all of the extra fabric is J.J. Moses. There's not much to him, folks, but I'll tell you what, he made a great play here.
Well, here he is on Jackson at the top of the screen. He stops and drifts a little bit. Jackson can't stop and change direction as quickly. And then not only that, Moses separates. He gets into third and fourth gear before Colorado's bigger defensive backs can. Rosenfel's saying, yeah, bigger bowl game. Yes, sir. Bigger bowl game. That's what we're talking about. We're bowl eligible. We want to go to a nice bowl.
You know, Sage Rosenfels is doing a nice job today, going and spreading the football around. Last week, he looked like he was trying to force the ball in there a little bit. This week, he's spreading the ball around nicely.
There was a penalty when we went away against Iowa State, the excessive celebration penalty, which
after the 2-point conversion
is always a question mark in my book, but they throw the flag, and so now Iowa State will kick off from the 20-yard line. They'll hammer it on the ground. Colorado should get decent field position. This is Brandon Drum. And he drums his way across midfield to the 45. So I'll tell you, that is a very, very costly penalty at the end of the 2-point conversion against the Cyclones.
And Iowa State decides to squib kick it because it's tough to corral the pigskin under great field conditions sometimes when you squib, and thinking that it's a tough surface, it's slick, keep the ball on the ground, maybe you get a funny hop, maybe it'll skip away. And that's a pretty good job of fielding the football. I mean, it's almost like an infield to stay in front of the ball, secure it, get it done, and nice job by Drum, rum-a-bum-bum.
Short field for Colorado. Bobby purifies the tailback. Oaks gets rid of the football. He throws a pick. Densmore's got to beat Oaks to the end zone. Oaks takes him down at the 14. Doug Densmore, the senior from Sterling, Illinois, comes up with another huge play for the Cyclone defense.
That's a great job by Densmore in reading the play action in the boot. An excellent job. He stayed home. Take a look at it on the replay here. You'll see it's a boot, and they've had success with this bootleg all day. Now, Densmore doesn't come up for the run because he's playing back in the 2 deep. He knows his responsibilities of crossing route, steps right in front of the receiver, makes a great play. Nice job returning football, and a great job by Oaks, actually, too, of after making a mistake, coming down and making a play downfield to save a touchdown.
I agree with that. He made a nice play on the tackle. But boy, you never see Densmore.
Here's Rosenfels, runs through Sykes toward the 5 and the 3-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 1. Dave, I've heard you say it 1,000 times. You throw late across your body down the middle, bad things happen.
Right, and I guess Oaks, Drew, never saw Densmore because it ended up throwing into double coverage, kind of a lurking safety back there, you know, and you know, it's just an education process, a learning process for a young quarterback. Nobody feels worse than Oaks does right now. And really, Iowa State smells it. This is the stage of the game where a bowl-eligible team, you know, can really start to finalize. You see Densmore, he's just lurking safety. He's reading Oaks' eyes, and he just jumps the route, makes the play, and then a nice yards gained after interception. 50. And he just changed the field big time right there.
You know, that's an excellent job of reading the football. Not only that, before the ball's even thrown, Densmore read the route. Just by the action of the quarterback and the action of the offensive line. He knew it was a bootleg, and he knew he was going to get a crossing route. And that was an excellent job of Michael Timmons chasing the guy across the field and made Oaks kind of lead him a little bit too much and gave Densmore room to sneak in front of that receiver.
And I'll guarantee you at halftime, that's exactly what was talked about by the defensive coaches. When they run that naked bootleg, when Oaks runs that naked bootleg, make sure that you're up to speed with respect to route recognition.
First pick of the year for Densmore. 2nd and short. Rosenfels, what a surge up front. Ben Bruns, Bodette, Lorenzo White, the center and 2 guards. Really move people out. 76. Lorenzo White will be the last to get up. He can't move you.
Yeah, he's 340 pounds. Now, he was 365. So they kind of melted him down a little bit, but that's a big body now. And
started eating yogurt, Dave.
Yeah, he's got some feet to go with it. Look at that, 6'5", 340. And he was, I think they said when he first weighed in, he was at least 360, 365, depending on what he had the night before for dinner.
The inside gaps aren't covered. There's too much space. There's touchdown.
Rosenfels again. No signal. Yeah. Now a signal. Touchdown, Iowa State.
So you can't do that. You're on a half-inch yard line. You have to have people guarding against the quarterback sneak.
And he's running. That's the third time he's run the sneak.
Positive yardage.
Well,
and they're not giving the A gap. They're not covering up the A gap. They're giving it up.
They gained 4 yards on 2 quarterback sneaks.
Right.
And the man of the moment, Doug Densmore, he set up the touchdown. It's now 32-20. Keep in mind it was 20-12 Colorado at halftime. And this is eerily familiar to Buffs fans to last week in Columbia, Missouri. They led 28-6 at halftime and didn't do much in the second half and hung on to defeat Missouri in the second half. Now they're going to have to come from behind.
Quarterback draw, maybe. There's the option.
Rosenfels, another dive into the end zone. It's 34-20.
Another penalty. They're going to do the celebration for the dive, but Chris Anthony had their block on the goal line, the receiver.
That's ridiculous. He dove, I think, because there was a man in the neighborhood. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a defender around, you're going to die. I think they threw the flag for celebration. Anthony can't believe it. Or are they calling him for holding? They may be calling Anthony for holding the good block that I saw on the goal line. Anthony may have grabbed. Let's see if that's what the call is rather than the celebration.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the try.
And that's the call. Anthony a little too aggressive in that block. He wrapped up.
Well, we stand corrected. And look again.
And you see once again they've done this a few times. Here's Anthony working on the edge, and well, I don't know. I guess it could be called, but he had the hands inside the framework. He didn't have his hands outside at all. They're just chicken fighting. He had the shirt jersey grabbed a little bit. and that was the call. The official on the back corner of the end zone, he was obstructed, really, his view, but he made the call. Jackson couldn't separate.
You always want to think about going for one here.
Well, they don't want a 13-point differential. They want 14, so from the 10-yard line, they will go. And this pass behind Craig Campbell. So the score will remain 32-20. That offensive line getting things done for the Cyclones. Sage Rosenfels a touchdown. With Dave Lapham, Chris Spielman, and Jim Knox, I'm Drew Goodman. 3:39 to go in the third quarter. It looked like Colorado was in pretty good position, starting a drive at their opponent's 44-yard line. The first play, Oaks, is picked off by Doug Densmore.
That was a great play, and Doug Densmore had that play read all the way. They didn't bite on any play action because he's very active in the run defense for Iowa State. He knew it was a bootleg. He knew he was going to get a crossing route. He stepped in front of the receiver and made a great play simply by route recognition and be able to catch the football. And he did a nice job of catching the ball with his hands, and that's important for a DB.
No question about it. One of the 23 seniors we talked about. So talk about the seniors stepping up at key moments of a critical football game to the ultimate success of your season. Densmore does exactly that.
Mike McKnight will kick off. Cedric Cormier back with Brunson. It is Brunson. Matt Brunson with some room. And he gets it out to the 37-yard line. McKnight, the place kicker, made the tackle.
It's a nice kicker. A nice tackle for a kicker.
Absolutely. Brian Ollie, the defensive back in coverage, number 3 in the white. You'll see him coming in. I don't know if we'll see him or not, but he just slides. There he is. He just slides out into space. He can't keep his feet under him. And now McKnight makes the big hit. Pretty good play.
Did he get the head across the bow?
No, but he wrapped him up and he squeezed. He's a kicker. He can't get it all right.
2 out of 3 is not bad. Oaks on first down, deep in, and that should be a first down to Javon Green. Jamarcus Powers made the tackle. 5 catches for Javon Green today.
You got to figure Colorado's not done. That's for sure in this football game. I think they're still going to compete, but they're going to have to do better than they've done in their last 3 possessions. 2 punts and an interception with a very short field after the return by Densmore off of that interception that ultimately resulted in a touchdown.
Oaks shows his composure by coming back and throwing a bullet after making a bad decision in the last series.
He hands it off to Purify. He's had running room every time he's handled it. He gets 9 yards. You know, guys, last week, Craig Oaks, right before halftime, threw a Hail Mary, and that ended a string of 104 consecutive passes without an interception. That is a school record, and it's set by a true freshman. So Oaks doesn't turn it over much.
No, he's pretty good in the decision-making process, and I think he's going to get nothing but better. I think this kid is going to be big time. I mean, he's got the size, the arm strength, the quick release. He's got it all. He's got a good makeup, and he studies. That's key. And you know that, Chris. You're one of the best ever at studying the game, and this kid studies.
Yeah, you know, Coach Sean Watson was telling us that he can't believe the time that this kid puts in. And not only does he have the talent, but he also has the intelligence and a work ethic. And when you put those 3 things together, success will be in your future.
And you mentioned earlier, Drew, that Iowa State's lost 16 straight to Colorado. 8 of them here at Boulder, but 6 of those have been by a touchdown or less. So I think we're in for another dogfight here.
Last few have been that way. 16-12 last year. Oaks pulls it down. And he's still faking like he's going to throw it, but he's 5 yards downfield.
Yeah.
Sometimes that works.
He had Iowa State buying it. They were buying what he was selling.
You bet. Gary Barnett has bought into Craig Oaks. We talked to him about his young quarterback yesterday.
You really wondered how much better he could get. But I think experience and consistency is what he's after now. In the game every year will slow down a little bit more to him to where he's totally in control. Right now it's slowed down pretty well for him. But I think as years come up, he'll really be able to take control of his game and take control of our offense.
Oaks runs it straight ahead for a couple of yards. He's had 90-plus yards rushing this year. In fact, in a game, I should say, he is the third leading rusher on the team, Craig Oaks, and he owns the longest run from scrimmage this year, 33 yards.
Plus, he's one of only 2 guys, I think it is, in school history that's thrown for a touchdown, rushed for 1, and caught a touchdown in the same season. So, Mr. Versatility right there, Craig Oaks.
Did it against Oklahoma State a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
3rd and 3. This one's dangerous, and it's incomplete. Colorado had been getting stuff done between the tackles, and they go on the boot there. 4th down, decision time for Gary Barnett, and he's going to send his offensive unit right back onto the field. It's in that gray area, Chris, 35-yard line.
It is, and you know, number 9, Adam Rumpf, made a great play on that. That's a play action where they've been having success. He didn't bite on it. He stayed with his coverage on Drum and made a nice play and forced a high throw. Very nice. Good disciplined defense.
I think this is a good call. If you put it in the end zone, you only pick up 15 yards of field position. It's too long for a field goal, and you're 3 and 6 and trying to play spoiler.
Iowa State almost doesn't get lined up. Oaks throwing. It is complete to Minardi. He lost the ball. And Cormier
still out.
Well, Cormier jumped on at least initially.
Fight begins.
Tug of war now. Strong hands, strong wrists, strong forearms. Colorado comes up with it.
And Colorado picks up another dozen yards on the loose football.
Well, you see, Iowa State that you were talking about, Drew, never really got themselves lined up, so they never really got off the line of scrimmage in the pass rush well. And a nice strip of the football. I mean, after the catch is made, just to violently rake at it, Breon Ansley does a good job of bringing it out of there, but Colorado heads up, falls on it.
Yeah, that's a great hustle play by number 14, Cedric Cormier. A great hustle play to finish the play and get down there and get that ball, because he was going downfield to get a block.
Javon Green comes to the near side.
Ooh, nice hit.
Not a whole lot going on that carry.
That was a good job by middle linebacker Chris Whitaker to fill the hole and force the action inside, and a good job by gang tackling by Iowa State, which they felt they needed to do to control the running game. You see a lot of white jerseys around the football. Well, that's what you like to see as a defensive coach.
No question. Number 47, Whitaker, in that white jersey. He's a guy that John Sandusky loves. And you know, if they can keep him healthy, they get 20 or 30 snaps out of him. He's fighting that injury.
Yeah, he's fighting shin splints. You see him limping.
Yeah, he's limping big.
But he's a tough guy.
Yep.
And he made a difference last week when we saw Iowa State play against Kansas State. When he's on the field, he makes a lot of plays, and he's a good plugger. He's a good Mike linebacker.
And there he is talking to John Sandusky, the defensive coordinator. And here's the Skladany, I should say. Sandusky, that's the old offensive line coach.
Okay.
Is that your old line coach?
One of them. I had him in the Senior Bowl. He used to be an offensive line coach for Don Shula with the Miami Dolphins.
There's Jerry Sandusky. He's a pretty good defensive coordinator.
Yeah. This is Skladany. And he's a heck of a defensive coordinator, and he's got a healthy dose of respect for Whitaker.
Both Steve Loney and John Skladany have ties to Colorado. Both at different times coached at Colorado State. In fact, Steve Loney coached under Earl Bruce at Colorado State, your old coach.
Yeah, Coach Loney and I were sharing Earl Bruce stories yesterday.
Our BMW game summary, Iowa State leading 32-20. Big day offensively for Sage Rosenfels. Passing game's been there, and obviously the running game has been there. And then their playmaker, J.J. Moses, has come up big in the second half, Dave.
Boy, 289 yards of offense for Sage Rosenfels. And they've gotten Haywood going a little bit, and they've also gotten J.J. going big time.
Second and 9. Here's Cortland Johnson. And he spilled about the 4-yard line. It'll be 3rd down, 3 for the first, and about 4.5 for the touchdown.
And remember, he's already got 3 touchdowns rushing. That ties a career high, Cortland Johnson. If he splashes into the end zone one more time, it's a new personal best for him. And Coach Barnett would love to see that happen.
Iowa State's had success with that toss play down here in the red area. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back with it the other side.
They'll send trips to the top. 25 seconds left. in the third quarter. Oaks with a two-way go, late throw, touchdown. It's McCready. Second career touchdown. His first came a week ago. Oaks waited, he was patient, and he found a man.
And patience pays off. McCready, only his second career touchdown, but it's coming back-to-back weeks. That's special for that young man.
Yeah,
Oaks.
That's showing maturity for Oaks, too, to throw a bad turnover and interception the last series and come back and be sharp and consistent on this series and lead them to a touchdown.
Selective amnesia.
Mariscal tacks on the extra point, and it's a 5-point football game. 32-27 with 15 seconds to go in the third quarter. Let's look at the touchdown again.
And get Oaks out of pocket. They've done a good job getting him out of pocket with a naked bootleg. This time just a complete rollout. Get him outside on the perimeter where he has a two-way go. And he finds McCready in the back line of the end zone, and he fires a dart. I mean, that ball comes out of his hand so easily and with such velocity. This kid's the real deal.
Yeah, you know, Cortland Johnson did a nice job on him slowing down Reggie Hayward just by basically falling down in front of his feet, which allowed Oaks to go ahead and get out of the pocket. And when a quarterback has time, it makes it tougher on a guy covering. McCready had time to separate from the coverage.
Sure. He bought the necessary time. But I like when you have a quarterback as athletic as Oaks, why not change the launch point frequently? Why keep him in the pocket and make him a target?
And he's a two-way go on the edge.
Absolutely. I mean, what kind of pressure, the outside linebacker or cornerbacks, what kind of pressure does that put when you get a guy like Oaks out on the edge and you don't know, you're between the rock and the hard place. Do I drop coverage or do I go after him? You got to stay with your coverage and make Oaks earn something.
Number one rule, always stay with the coverage for two reasons, because you get burnt by a big play if you don't. And if he runs the football, you always have a chance to get a good, clean shot on the quarterback.
Right.
And, you know, you want to take your shots on quarterbacks. That's just part of the game.
Mariscal pumped up and launches this thing through the end zone. Greg Oaks, fourth touchdown pass of the year.
You know, when you look at him throw the football, he throws it with great velocity, but it looks like it's a very catchable football. You don't see his receivers bobbling the football so much. And I think that's a tribute to not only does he have velocity, but he puts it, it's catchable. I mean, you know, it's soft even though it's got some hump to it. I mean, he's very special when he throws the football.
Haywood in the backfield with 20, Michael Wagner.
Crossbuck. Dave Crossbuck coming.
Here it comes.
He called it, and Haywood gets the football, and he gets maybe a yard. Colorado, for the first time today, read it. Aaron Killian, nose to nose with Haywood, and that'll be the final snap of the third quarter. Colorado has won 16 straight against Iowa State, but the last few years, the games have been very close. This one, most entertaining again, 32-27, Cyclones.
For years, people have looked at ways to get more out of the football experience. They've tried extra-wide stadium snacks.
Hey, hands off!
Extra-wide restroom facilities.
Hey, ooh, nice shoes.
Finally, extra-wide binoculars from Bushnell. With a field of view that's twice as wide as most regular binoculars, fans can enjoy football twice as much as before. Bushnell extra-wide binoculars. Extra wide for extra fun.
Keep your eyes on the road there, huh, pal?
You're about to see something special. Introducing the 2001 Buick Century Special Edition. Luxury, quality, the little buzz you get from driving it. The 2001 Century Special Edition is all that and less. $1,250 less right now. Make your neighbors jealous. Make your children proud. Come see something special. Come see your Buick dealer today.
Remember college?
I bet you do.
I bet you do.
Remember the highs, the lows,
The pressure.
the party?
Are you kidding me? You're going to risk your hard-earned cash
Take food off your table. Off your table?
betting on
18-year-old kids?
kids.
You might as well.
Throw your money away.
Fool.
Fool.
So watch our games for this kind of
This
action,
kind of action.
not this.
Not this.
Because if you're banking on me,
To make your day?
don't bet on it. Don't bet on it.
Sun is down. The snow continues to fall. A winter wonderland in Boulder, Colorado. Drew Goodman, Dave Lapham.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Spielman, you're a little early. Let's get to Thanksgiving first.
That's true. Right, hey, this is that crossbuck formation. Here comes a play action off the crossbuck.
You think so? You think they're going to throw it?
Spielman hasn't been wrong yet today.
Never mind.
He's done. Batted away. Coming on the edge was Killian. He is playing well, isn't he?
Yeah. Okra, the defensive coordinator for Colorado, made the point that he's their best blitzing linebacker. And I'll tell you, that kid, he's not played a heck of a lot today, but when he's had, he has made plays. And a good job of getting his hands up in the throwing lane. Nice play.
And Haywood did a good job of taking the inside. The double-barrel blitz off the edge there. He took the inside guy, but Killian unblocked, and he made the play.
Colorado's defense getting a little momentum back, courtesy of their offense. 3rd and 9. Got a screen set up to Haywood, and he will not get to the sticks. Hanging on was Drew Walrus.
That's a big 3-and-out right there.
Yeah, that's a nice job by Drew Walrus, keeping his coverage and breaking up on the football on Ennis Haywood.
And you got to think, if Killian doesn't block that pass, there might have been something there. So that deflection, that pass defense by Killian was huge because it made it a 3rd and long instead of 3rd and makeable.
Now here's something where you can't take the long snap for granted here. The guy's been sitting on the bench. You need to get a good snap.
Well, you said it earlier. Bad weather affects special teams more than any other facet of a team.
Good snap.
Pressure coming from the outside. They block it well. John Minardi's back deep, and he takes it at the 31.
Wow.
And Mike Banks comes up and blows him a kiss at the 35-yard line. Not an affectionate kiss. Good hit. 32-27. We step aside. 14:02 to go in Boulder. 5-point lead for the Cyclones.
I told my father I wanted to grow up to be a teacher. Wouldn't you rather be a doctor? He said. It's a noble profession and you could become wealthy. That may be true, I said. But without teachers, where would doctors come from?
Want to start a family?
Right now?
I just got supplemental insurance.
What's that?
Aflac. Well, if we get sick, our health insurance won't cover things like lost pay or other expenses. This does.
What's it called? Aflac!
I don't know.
Aflac. Without it, no insurance is complete.
Here in Colorado, there's a name for the way learning is changing. Student learners are transforming higher education. Knowledge is still created here, and here, and here. But at the University of Colorado, you will find undergraduate research out here. In 24 hours a day, you'll find it in here. At CU, there is a name for this transformation in learning. Because in Colorado, we recognize that learning is the new form of labor for the 21st century.
Snow picking up. The folks in the mountains love it. Ski industry got hammered last year with not a lot of early season snow, but the guys who don't like it are our camera crew. They've been bundled up outside for 4 or 5 hours now. Scott Tolman, Dana Sherman, as Oaks goes down. I want to get some of those other guys mentioned. Stevie Brown, Frank Trevino, Chuck Cahill, Greg Elsie all Should be getting a double check for today's work.
Guys
in the
work hard.
elements.
Doing a great job. You know, Stevie Johnson made a great athletic play there. He went up to block the pass. He was able to come down on his feet. Take a look at it here on the replay. It's great. Well, here you go. He's going up, block. He's able to jump, block the pass, but come down, keep control of his feet, and make the quarterback. That's tough to do. That's a nice athlete right there.
Former basketball player, played 126 games of hoop.
It figures.
Colorado off schedule. They have 2nd and 21. Purify gets 4 or 5. And now it'll be 3rd and long.
Yeah, Stevie Johnson played 126 basketball games at Iowa State, averaged over 9 points a game and over 6 rebounds a game. So he's athletic at that linebacker position. He showed it on that. You're right, Chris.
It's a big play for Iowa State.
There's Stevie Johnson heading off the field.
Obviously, but I think you got to look for Javon Green. You got to take him out of the game. He's lined up in the inside slot receiver. You try to get him down the middle of the field.
There he is.
He's at a 100-yard day receiving. They need the 45.
There he is. Right down the middle.
Green, first down, 48-yard line. You called it. And Green with the special delivery from Craig Oaks.
I'm telling you, man.
That size mismatch.
See, I want to jump out of the press box right now. Man.
I thought Chris Spielman was a defensive guy. He's making all the offense.
No.
I mean, he's calling the defensive matchups.
Yeah, you know, take a look at Javon Green. You get him inside. They've been hitting the square in all day. You know what's coming. They need big yards. That's when you like to see your safety, a little jump on that a little bit.
Right.
Linebacker, get depth in your coverage, please. Nice.
It's going to be a loss. Purify. They got depth in the backfield. It's your guy, Stevie Johnson, along with James Reed that time.
Yeah, that's something Iowa State hasn't been able to do a lot today is get penetration with their defensive lineman. Stevie Reed gets penetration. One of the reasons why, Dave, you know this play from offensive line, that it's difficult. If a guy gets the jump on you off the snap count, that's tough to block him.
Absolutely. I mean, that's your only advantage, is to get the first movement off the line of scrimmage. And I'll tell you what, that kid, Reed, he's got some all-league mention more than one season. He's been legit for Iowa State for a while.
He's their second leading tackler, which is extraordinary for a D tackle. And this pass is dropped. Daniel Graham had it. You don't see him drop many, and it'll be 3rd down. Till that pass, or including that pass, Oaks now 8 for his last 11, so he's starting to heat up.
And now you get 3rd and a bunch. You got to figure you get Oaks out of pocket again and change that launch point and see if you can make something happen.
Iowa State's got a little confusion.
Too many men out there.
Well,
they're running. They got 13 men out there.
They had their dime package on there, and they went back to their regular personnel.
Look at a Minardi, and he dives and makes the catch.
Short.
He's short of the first down. What a catch. He's about 1.5 yards short. 4th catch from Minardi. And what do you do if you're Colorado, Dave?
I go for it. You're 3-6. What do you got to lose? I mean, Minardi getting off the line of scrimmage, he's going to run a little comeback route. Actually does a good job of just knocking Powers around a little bit and coming back to the football.
Yeah, that's a great throw. Now you got to look, they're taking a little bit of time of getting this play in. So he's got to take a look at the play clock. It's down to 13 right now.
And I give Oaks a two-way go here, a run throw option out of pocket.
There's 9 in the box. They go toss sweep to Purify. North and south. Ball. The football. Timmons is on it. Iowa State has it at their own 36. He got the first down, but then the true freshman lost the football.
You know, it makes you wonder why Cortland Johnson, who's had success running that play, wasn't in there in that call. And, not taking anything away, Purify's been running hard, but Cortland Johnson is your experienced running back that knows how to get the tough yard and has had success.
And Ward and Densmore are the two that combined on the hit on Purify. You get Ward at linebacker and Densmore at the safety position. And they combine to make the hit, and the ball squirts out of there.
Yeah, Ryan Hartlaw did a great job, too, of coming down the line and getting some arms wrapped around those legs of the Purifies.
What a takeaway.
Haywood almost came out of the other side. Drew Walrus got him by the left eyelid of his shoe.
You know what Iowa State's doing now is they're spreading the field with 4 wide receivers. They want to get the defense spread out, and they're going to try to take advantage of those big offensive linemen up front and the inside running of Ennis Haywood. It's a good game plan. They do a nice job of blocking. Big Lorenzo got a nice block.
And I'll tell you what, both these teams were very, very good in the turnover ratio coming in. Colorado +6, Iowa State +4. Third best, fifth best in the conference. Turnovers have been a factor today.
That was Colorado's third turnover. 1 pick, 2 fumbles. The flag comes in.
Got a hold.
Not much doing there. Anwan Jones, the senior linebacker from Van Nuys, California, closed it down.
Nice play by Anwan. Colorado knows that they're trying to do that too, so they came up that time. Instead of playing in zone, they brought their linebackers inside, left the DBs one-on-one outside, but they knew they were going to run the football.
Picking the flag up. No flag. No penalty.
Third down.
Terry Turlington picks it up. It'll be 3rd down and 2. You know it's tough on also out there is that officiating crew.
Oh yeah, they're definitely chilly. No doubt about that.
Yeah, those guys deserve credit. They work hard and make college football better for everybody.
They stayed on their feet pretty well today, too.
They have.
The umpire has good feet out there.
Yes,
he looks like a former offensive lineman out there.
He does. Low center of gravity.
Yes.
Looks like a former pulling guard.
Comes a blitz.
Rosenfels, short drop. J.J. Moses makes another play. Move the chains for Iowa State. The tackle by Robbie Robinson. When you need a play on 3rd down, you look to 32, the smallest man in white.
Well, I'll tell you, he's got a capital C on his chest for competitor.
Yeah, that's a nice job by Iowa State's offensive lineman of picking up the blitz.
And Rosenfels, senior quarterback, goes to senior receiver. And nice job by the back, Haywood, on blitz pickup.
Good point, David. Ennis Haywood did a great job there. Now they're going to go back to the run, eat up the clock.
4 catches, 61 yards for Moses. There's the run. Haywood hurdles a man and gets a couple of yards. Jumped over Ben Bruns, the center. And Anwan Jones will get credit for another tackle, a pickup of 4.
Now this is the time of the game where you've run this all season long. You started at 2-a-days, inside zone, just off tackle. The linemen do combination blocks inside, off the right side and the left side of the line of scrimmage. You form cutback lanes for your running back, and all you do is go back to your bread and butter, the inside zone running game, and melt the clock, drip seconds off the clock.
Yeah, Drew, you'd like to see Sage take that clock, that time clock down there at about 3 or 4 seconds before he calls the snap. Let's just see.
There it is. It's inside 4 when they snap it. Here's a naked. Rosenfels came to run, and he'll have a 1st down. Yeah. He knew where the chains were, and he gets it to the 34-yard line. 1st down, Cyclones.
And this was just run all the way for Sage Rosenfels. Watch, all the action goes one way, and Rosenfels comes out against it. And just make the defense over pursue. Nobody stays at home. And nice block on the edge right there to get Sage Rosenfels to the sideline uncontested. A nice call.
That was Mike Banks providing the block.
Loney does a nice job right there. Steve Loney just faked the inside zone with that action and then run the quarterback naked against it.
138 yards rushing on 13 trips for the quarterback Rosenfels. He gives to Wagner, and he pirouettes a la Darren Davis, who has now moved on to about the 30-yard line. 32-27 Iowa State. It will be inside 8 minutes when Iowa State snaps it on 2nd down.
Well, if you even get the field goal, it becomes an 8-point game where you have to score a touchdown and convert the 2-point conversion just to tie. So what you want to do is milk the clock. I mean, melt it away and get points on the board. Field goal is good. Touchdown's better. Then it's a 2-score game.
Big Hogs up front are doing a nice job for Iowa State.
Wagner again, and Sykes does bring him to the turf. It looked like he was going to get a bunch, and he got only 2.
Yeah, you know what he did so well is he was real patient. You know, he kept it at the point of attack, and then the cutback was late. You got to be patient and let it happen, and don't take it too quick.
Yeah, speaking of the cutback, Jason Sykes did a nice job of not over pursuing, playing his gap responsibility, and making a good tackle.
He's got the grass up in the neck. Look at the grass hanging off the neck roll right there. Man, somebody planted something. They got a garden growing back there in the neck roll.
There's petunias coming out of his helmet.
What's up with that?
Big play here, 3rd and 5. Blitz coming. Rosenfels, deep shot, and it's short. He was trying to find Anthony. And now on 4th and 5, Iowa State will bring on
what's he
Gomez.
doing?
Now, is it a
what's he
punt or
doing?
a field goal?
Exactly.
If it's a field goal, it is in the neighborhood of 46 yards.
What I might do, you might think about direct snap to the place kicker, and he punts it since he does both. You know, you may be able to do that direct snap, and he can angle kick it and play the field position game if in fact Coach McCarney decides this is too risky a field goal attempt.
You know, a lot of snow, guys, but not a lot of wind. Of course, the plant foot has to stay planted.
Perfect.
Get that hook in there. Did he get it there?
Perfect.
He did.
Yeah.
Barely. 46-yard field goal. Wouldn't have been good from 47, but it's good here. 35-27, and the separation is 8.
I can't tell you how tough that is. It's like kicking a concrete rock right then. That ball's hard in this cold weather. For him to kick it like he did, that's a heck of a deal.
You got to kick the laces also.
And that's good mechanics. Good mechanics from the snap to the hold to the kick.
Wow, big play.
So you needed a 46-yarder, Coach, not 47.
Man.
Service
Hey, knock it off.
is incredible. If you're traveling on business, stay at Sleep in a class by itself.
Big 12 football has been brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste by Buick and your local Buick dealers. Isn't it time for a real car? By Bank of America, the official bank of the Big 12 Conference. And by Southwestern Bell, the official telecommunications company of the Big 12. It is beautiful out, unless you have to play in the elements. Great game, 35-27. And the kick gets into the end zone, so it's a touch back. 20-yard line for Colorado, and Jim Knox is one of those guys within the
elements. You can tell this field is really slick down here. The snow continues to fall hard. The temperatures continue to drop. Iowa State doing a good job, and so are the Iowa State fans. These guys made the long trip, and they're pumped and ready to go, trying to rip their team on to the final 6:38.
Hey, Knox, I thought you were going to run out in the field with Iowa State. Man, you're on the sideline mixing it up with the boys.
Yeah, I was ready to take someone out, Chris, but this is your kind of element. I know you're just salivating to get down here.
It was Dave. That's all right, Knoxy.
Oaks complete to Green, and it'll be a first down.
They're going to look for him on a deep dig.
Colorado down 8. They need a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, and they go the other direction to John Minardi in front of Jamarcus Powers. They get 9.
Well, they figure if they're going to pay a lot of attention to Green, go backside to Minardi.
Exactly.
They're going 2 receivers, balancing the formation 2 each way.
Exactly, David. They did a good job of doubling Green there. Went back to Minardi. Oaks did a good job of recognizing the double team.
Oaks to Cormier, and that's incomplete. It'll be 3rd down. Colorado has turned it over 3 times in the football game, and Iowa State has taken advantage. You know, coming in, Colorado against sudden change has done a very good job.
They had, but boy, 17 points today is huge. You know, it's 35-27 football game.
Yeah, they've given up 20 points all year round. They give up 17 points today.
That's pretty strong.
3rd down and a couple, and Oaks will go out of the shotgun with Cortland Johnson to his right. And Oaks will keep it. And Oaks will have a 1st down.
Nice tackle.
That was a nice tackle. Jamarcus Powers came up.
Good read by Jamarcus Powers. He did make a good tackle here, but the one thing I want to see guys do, and you're starting to see this in the NFL a lot, that guys are not wrapping their arms up, and you have to secure the tackle. Watch Jamarcus. No attempt to wrap the arms. It was a good play, though, but you'd like to see a sure tackle in that situation.
It's high risk, high reward there.
Blitz coming. McCready open, puts a knee down to catch the football at the 48.
The Iowa State's running that double zone blitz with 2 DBs coming, rushing from the outside, and you see big 98 Tharp out there dropping off.
That's been good to them all day long. It's really got them some nice pressure. They've made big plays off of that double-edged blitz.
Oaks vacating. Now he's in trouble.
Wow.
Oh, that's how strong he is. And he throws it out of bounds. I'll tell you what, there aren't too many quarterbacks that can shake off a 275-pound defensive tackle.
That's right. Karstens has him. And you got to fix the shoulder, get the shoulder pad back in the jersey. But Carson's a big, strong, he's a kid, tough kid. And he goes flying off there. I mean, Oaks he throws him around like a rag doll. That shoulder pad's out there flying, but no tackle. Unbelievable play.
Yeah, you think about that, and that's leg strength, David. The power to be able to hang in there like that. Not only does he possess the arm strength, but also the leg strength and excellent balance and good composure and still getting rid of the football.
Yeah, another big play here. 3rd and a long 6. They need the ISU 46. Oaks throwing it up. That's a dangerous pass. Caught. Javon Green at the 34-yard line.
Wow.
Well, the kid got a break there.
Yes, he did. He put it up for grabs, and Powers almost had a tremendous play on the football. And he's talking to the official about it. Boy, the ball was touched by more than one person on this one. And Oaks, this is a mistake, really. I mean, to throw the ball up for grabs like he did in the face of pressure, but it worked out for him. But the ball's deflected, and Powers is one that thought he could have had it.
8 catches for Green. Right back to work to Minardi. They've completely abandoned the run, and honestly, they had enough time to run the football and throw the football in this drive, but everything is Oaks out of the gun.
And once again, Hayward's right in his face. Hayward's probably saying after this game, this kid's got tremendous arm strength. And Powers does get his hand on it, but doesn't knock it down. He doesn't take it, spike it to the turf. Keeps it alive.
Now they go on the ground, and Cortland Johnson does a really good job to hold on. Ryan Harklaw, who's been in a wrestling match for 55 minutes, hangs on and finally makes a tackle.
Yeah, Ryan's been in there. He's playing in a tough position. He's the nose guard. You don't get a lot of glory in that position, but he held his ground nice and made a good, sure tackle on Johnson.
3rd and 3. Oaks, first down, Javon Green. To the 18-yard line, he is the go-to guy.
Yes, he is. The go-to guy, absolutely. And Iowa State knows it. I mean, it's no secret. They're trying to do something, everything they can. Green on the inside here. Comes off and just runs a little out pattern. And gets the separation, catches the football. Ball security is key right now. Got to squeeze the pig.
Yeah, Austin's giving up way too much ground. He's in zone coverage, but he's got to play a little bit tighter coverage.
You can't see the yard lines. Colorado has it at the 18, down 8.
That bun, KFC is the one. Original recipe sandwich is the only one.
The only chicken sandwich to get a perfect 10 from the American Tasting Institute.
Oh, yum. How good is that?
Damn bones, I can't leave them alone. Gotta live in herbs and spices, but the recipe's unknown. Love that delectable taste, let out a delighted moan. 10 pieces, $8.99, eat them wherever I roam. How good is that?
I'm Jim Rome. Next week on The Last Word, NFL Hall of Famer Joe Montana makes a return appearance. Plus, we'll address whether or not Tiger Woods is out of line and who's at fault for the tragedy that is Darryl Strawberry. The Last Word, 6:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
It's NFL This Morning on Fox Sports Net.
Oh, yeah! You should get up and hang out with us because we're going to have a little bit of fun. Unbelievable! I'll tell you who's going to win. Tony, give me love. Speaking of good material.
I like the hair today, Chris Myers. You look a little like Bob's big boy.
It's broken down to name calling up here.
It's your Sunday morning tailgate party in a box. NFL This Morning. Tomorrow at 7 on Fox Sports Net. The Red Wings invade the Staples Center with size, skill, and speed. The Kings say, so what? Red Wings Kings, tonight at 7.
Colorado, but the Buffaloes have it 1st and 10 at the plus 18-yard line. Oaks to the end zone, and Cormier intercepted. Is he inbounds? No. Out of Runk picked it off out of bounds.
What a play.
It was a great play.
Man, what a play. Now remember, in college football,
got a flag down on the field too.
College football, you get 1 foot in bounds. What you got to do? Now you have to have possession of the football and 1 foot in bounds.
Ooh, he's in bounds.
And how do you see it? And the official, he's right on top of it.
Wait,
where's the sideline?
Take a look at his left foot.
His right toe. His right toe's down.
Yeah.
And the official's looking at his left foot. And he never saw the right foot. The right toe got down. He tapped it with the right foot before the left foot fell out.
They haven't been all for naught because it is an offside penalty against Iowa State. That was a great play. You like to see that. He had great close on the football and awareness of where the ball was and the awareness to get his feet down in bounds.
Too bad to line up off sides there.
Yeah.
You got to look at the football. You can't see yard markers. Look at the ball. Stay behind it.
1st and 5. That's complete. It should be a 1st down. Still going to McCready. Now, he's a big guy, 6'4" and 210 pounds. His forward progress.
Is that a late whistle or what?
Yeah, that was really late.
Yeah.
Forward progress was out around the 10-yard line.
Look at Green. Green's still over there waving, saying I was open. Green's still over there at the 10-yard line saying, look at me.
No, they didn't give the forward progress.
They didn't give the forward progress. They mark it at the 12. It's tough to see now. Field is almost completely white. 2nd down and about 3. Johnson. Timmons, the free safety, came up.
3rd and short.
And it'll be 3rd and short, as you suggest, with 2:54, 2:53, 2:52 to go. Colorado obviously has to punch it in the end zone. Then they need the 2-point conversion.
This is the play. If you're going to go for the end zone, 3rd and short's the play I do it, because I'm going to go for it on 4th down. I have my best play, short yardage play available for me on 4th down. I might go for the gusto here on 3rd and short.
Plus, you have a little bit of room to run a route down here when you're out at the 11-yard line as opposed to being on the 5- or 6-yard line. It gives Oaks and his receivers more room to operate.
This is the place to go for the gusto.
They have 2 tight ends. Oaks fell.
He slipped.
Oaks fell.
Where'd they mark that knee? It's the official spot, and they're going to spot it with the up foot or the back foot, the left foot or the right foot. That'll give him extra 6 inches. Boy, he's right at the 10-yard line.
I think he has to get beyond the 10. I think he's short.
Yeah. And you can see the no traction. Oaks blows the right tire. I mean, he gets on a patch of ice and the right tire blows out of there. Down to the turf he goes.
So it'll be 4th down.
Look at all Iowa State's football team.
Less than a yard.
I've never seen that. I've never seen a whole team come into a timeout. The whole football team for Iowa State is hanging on a timeout. That's awesome. That's unity. This team has come a long way. This is a chance for them to make that extra step.
Yeah, this looks like a pregame prayer.
Yes, it does. And I'll tell you, I'm sure the seniors are talking right now. You know, I think it's the senior. The coaches are probably letting the seniors say, look, we're bowl eligible. It comes down to this. Who's going to make the play? Who's going to step up? Let's get this done.
23 seniors, a team that boasts great chemistry, having the best season in 22 years at Iowa State.
Yeah, they got the trainers out there, the water girls out there. They got everybody's out there. That's a close-knit team there, David.
Everybody wants that bowl ring.
Absolutely.
That bowl watch.
That bowl per diem's nice too.
That's right. That's right.
I'll tell you what, couldn't happen to a better guy than Dan McCarney, because he's paid his dues. He's taken his lumps, turning this program around, and he is terminally positive.
Yeah. He is. In the 23 seniors, you talk about taking your lumps, and he's proud of those kids because they've gone through hell. Yeah. And they've kept fighting and battling and kept slugging, and now they're getting their payday. That's why last week was so puzzling and disappointing to the coaching staff and the players, because they didn't step up last week in Manhattan, but boy, they're stepping up in Boulder.
What do you run here, guys? 4th down, maybe 2 feet.
I'm going with play action. I don't know what they're running. I would run play action.
I wonder if they won't sneak it again.
We go to Nemeth.
He lost football. Iowa State's got it.
No, not yet. Not yet.
He had the 1st down, and he lost the football.
Tug of war. Tug of war.
You've ever been on the bottom of those?
Oh, I've had possession and lost it, not had possession and gotten it before, man. It's a big tug of war. Iowa State's got it.
Reggie Hayward, the senior Big 12 candidate comes up with a football.
Well, that big talk they had down on the field as a team, and the seniors were saying who's going to make the play. The big-time senior, Reggie Hayward, made the play, came up with the football. And Dan McCarney is a happy coach, and rightfully so.
4th turnover of the game.
Well, a nice job. Reed got the hit, got the helmet and hand on the football, knocked it out.
You know, they gave it to a guy you don't want to second guess.
Right.
Scott Nemeth hasn't handled the football once today.
He's closest to the line of scrimmage, so I think they were worried about traction and everything. The fullback's closer, a quick hitter, and it didn't work out.
Now, with 1:49 left, Colorado, with a couple of timeouts, will have to utilize them and try to get the football back. Iowa State, they need a first down. Haywood with 2 hands on the football.
Oh, yeah.
You come back to a point that, Dave, you made near the top of the broadcast. Tony Alford, the running back coach at Iowa State, very proud of his kids. They have not put it on the ground once this year. Not once. None of the running backs.
And the turnovers that have occurred today haven't been as a result of running backs handling the football.
Yeah.
You know, Sage Rosenfels had a fumble, but he's not a running back. He's a quarterback. And these guys, ball security is remarkable for Hayward. Let's take a look. Fast start. They got 153 total yards in the first quarter. They got 3 points in their first drive. That was good. I think the gang tackling was a lot better than last week. And they really have, the offense isn't totally balanced, but they wanted to get that done. Control the line of scrimmage with their running game, and then their passing game is set up by being able to effectively run the football game. So I think they really played their game plan out pretty well.
And Colorado's game plan, Dave?
Well, they wanted to rush for over 100 yards, so they got that done. Hold Iowa State under 150. Did not get that done. That's big in this football game. Aggressive in the kicking game. They did fail in that onside kick. They were aggressive. It didn't pan out, though. So I think that's why they don't have the lead in this football game, is they did not control Iowa State's running game, and they weren't as successful in their aggressiveness in the kicking game as they had hoped.
You know, Iowa State's defense has responded to Coach McCarney. Coach McCarney said at the beginning of the second half, we need turnovers in the second half, and they have gotten them. And big ones at big times.
And they responded in the red zone.
Huge turnovers.
In the red zone, too, they did a nice job offensively and in this drive defensively.
Haywood breaks free. Haywood will have a first down to the 26-yard line.
That's coffin nails, because now they're going to start burning timeouts. And there's the running back coach, Tony Alford, who's saying, I got my horse. Let the big dog eat. Give it to my man, because he won't put it on the ground, and he's going to get you something.
You think Tony thinking, hey, I wonder what bowl game I'll be going to this year.
That's right.
While we have a moment, the executive producers of college football Saturday are Arthur Smith and Bill Borson. Coordinating producers Roy Hamilton and Gary Garcia. Today's game produced as always by Bob Steinfeld and directed by Ken Miller. Vice President of Field Operations, Andrea Jenkins. Our crew has done a tremendous job all year. Couple of more yards. Colorado has 1 timeout left. This one will wind inside a minute to go. Dr. Pepper player of the game, Sage Rosenfels. Just 17 of 41 in the blowout loss in Manhattan last week. Boy, did he bounce back.
Yeah, he showed some resiliency today in leadership.
Yeah, he did it, and you know, he made great decisions today. He protected the football. He spread the ball around to his receivers. He dumped the ball off to his backs. He stayed patient, and he was able to run the football. What a burden that creates on the defense.
And you know what I like about this Iowa State team today, after last week's situation, to fall behind like they did and not lose their composure and keep their poise, keep on wood, and come back. You know, there's peaks and valleys. There are ups and downs to every football game, just like life, you know, and you got to make the valleys not as deep and keep those peaks high, and they did it today.
Only 7 times in the last 90 years has an Iowa State team won 7 football games in a season.
That's remarkable.
And they're on the cusp of winning their 7th here against 3 losses. And then next week, they'll be at home against Kansas. And that'll be a tussle, because every game when you're turning a program around is a tussle. There are no gimmies, but they have a chance to win 8 football games in Ames, Iowa. That's remarkable.
And you got to think that they'll have the momentum after, if they can pull this off and win in Boulder, go back home for that final home game against those teams, or the first home game since they've been on. I'm not sure if it's the final road game or not, final home game or not for them for the season, but it's going to be a lot of emotion for those seniors, those 23 seniors, and I think they're going to ride that wave of momentum pretty soundly against Kansas. you know, I do want to give credit to our guys, I mean, particularly the camera guys, and Jim Knox. I mean, these guys outside all day long. You know, they were our blue-collar guys came up big today now.
You know, this is
the guys
brutal.
in the pits.
They're the grunts.
That's right. The guys in the pits did the job.
They're the one to win for you.
No question.
Hey, Dave, I just want you guys to get down there. We got a game of Tupelo at the end.
We're kind of soft up here, Jim.
It's freezing in this box, Knoxy.
We got gloves. And, Jim, did we mention we have heaters also?
Knoxy's got those rosy cheeks going, doesn't he?
Yeah, I told you, he looked like Sven when he was running with Ralphie.
Or Rocky.
Yeah, Ralphie. Jim's planning on going night skiing at Keystone tonight.
There you go.
Ready for Ralphie again, guys. She's nowhere to be found.
She's smart.
She's got those short hamstrings going down.
You know, these two schools have a tradition of playing in inclement weather. Dave, back in '91, you did a game in a blizzard in Ames, Iowa. That'll be the final snap, 35-27.
And look at the Cyclones.
The Cyclones will go to 7-3. Colorado will fall to 3-7. Left on the menu for Gary Barnett. The Nebraska Cornhuskers in Lincoln in 2 weeks. It was fun. The Cyclones come from behind, and they win it by 8 in Boulder. Plan to join us next Saturday at our regular time, 12:30 in the East, 9:30 out West, for our next Big 12 football telecast. 19th ranked Kansas State will be in Columbia, Missouri to take on the Tigers. Now for Dave Lampham, Chris Spielman, and Jim Knox, I'm Drew Goodman saying so long from Boulder. Again, Iowa State 35, Colorado 27. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay warm.